Hey guys, welcome back to another Whiskey on the West Coast live stream. And today I am so excited because really I'm wanting to do this live stream as a thank you to all you guys who support the channel. We are celebrating the fact that there's been 3,000 people that have decided to actually support what we're doing here. 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. I can't believe we've actually hit that mark. I can't believe that this channel has grown to this extent, and it's all because of you guys, the people who watch videos, the comments, and who support me on Patreon or otherwise. And it's just crazy to think that in just over 2 years of putting out that first video, um, that has grown this much. And so I could have never imagined it becoming what it has. And yeah, I get a little emotional, a little bit touched, just thinking about all the wonderful support you guys have given me. So thank you. Thank you so much. We're here to celebrate 3,000 subscribers, but of course, we're also here to have a bit of whiskey fun. Whiskey fun, that is, we're going to be talking all about Laphroaig Cairdeas. I have 5 different editions of Laphroaig Cairdeas in my glasses over here. We're going to blind taste them. We're going to have a blind showdown of Laphroaig Cairdeas. It's honestly one of my favorite releases that comes out every year. I'm a Laphroaig fanboy. Not my favorite distillery, especially with how they treat their official range, but the Cairdeas release I pick up every year. I usually pick up a backup. You guys may have seen my recent review, just released on Thursday, to review the Laphroaig Cairdeas cask favorites. That's this bad boy right here. Yeah, it was an excellent whiskey. It's a fantastic Laphroaig Cairdeas, and I wanted to see how it stacks up to some of the most recent Laphroaig editions. It seemed to be head and shoulders to me above most of the rest. So we're going to go through the lineup of what Laphroaig Cairdeas bottlings I have here. But let's check in with the comments. I've got a celebratory bottle we're going to start with right here. I'll tell you all about that because, as you guys know, after drinking Laphroaig, really your palate is kind of shot. So yeah, we're going to get to the comments, check in with you guys, see who's here. And we'll talk about this Gordon and MacPhail, this special Gordon MacPhail bottling I have to my left. All right, early check-ins here. Gregoire, and Paris, buddy. Hi, Matt. Congrats on 3K, buddy. Happy for you as you deserve it. Slange with a laughy 18-year-old 2008, 48%. Man, that sounds like a fantastic Laphroaig edition. I'm sure it cost a lot less in 2008 than the newest Laphroaig 18 edition does now. I think I saw that come to Canada and drop for around $350. That sounds like a beautiful Laphroaig, and that would be 1990s Laphroaig then, which is, I mean, that's honestly my favorite era for vintage of Laphroaig because I think the peating level was a little lower. Lets those tropical fruits and everything else just come to the forefront. That sounds like a perfect whiskey for today, Greg. Thanks for being here. And yeah, you can't find any Cairdeas here in France. It's complicated to buy it abroad, so I only tried 2 or 3 of them, including an exceptional 30-year-old one. I think that was the first Cairdeas, but that sounds like an incredible experience, Greg. Jerry Miller, Jerry, buddy, what's going on? Good morning, Matt. I told Tammy that since you'd be having a dram at 11 a.m., it was okay for you. Yeah, of course. If I'm dramming, you're dramming, right? Just like at the Victoria Whiskey Festival, buddy. That was so much fun. You, myself, and Steven, as well as so many other people. Oh, man, that was a riot. I hope we do it again next year, if not another year. Buddy, welcome here. Thanks for all the support. All right, we got, yeah, you guys might have noticed a theme here. Tiger Tails, go Canada, Seaways Whiskey Wire. Hey, Tyler, let's go Canada. Yeah, buddy, let's go. And congrats on the Matt, on the 3K. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's not going to be long before you're hitting 1K, buddy. Let's see. Everyone's checking in here. It's awesome. Paul M. Good afternoon from Montreal, Quebec. Paul, welcome here, buddy. And oh yeah, let's see here. Greg paid 55 euro in 2008. Yeah, it was just a different time. It was a different time. And oh, buddy, you just hit 500 subs this morning, Ty. That's awesome, dude. Like I said, only a matter of time before you hit 3,000 subs. Well, tell you what, I'm pouring this for my 3K. We'll also pour this for your 500, and we'll celebrate together, buddy. All right. I am actually going to turn to this Gordon MacPhail bottling we've got right here. We'll get this opened and poured. I'll introduce what Laphroaig Cartier bottlings that we have in the glasses here. And I might talk a little bit about why I've got the Canada hat, the Canada jersey, the flag, and this lovely Canada hockey mitt glove mug. But yeah, let's open this Gordon MacPhail first. So what we've got here, guys, see if I can get the camera to focus, get my face out of there. This is a Gordon and MacPhail Highland Park 27-year-old from 1995. It was matured in a refill sherry butt. This is a single cask release from Highland Park, and it's 27 years old, bottled at 59% ABV. This whiskey came to Canada at an absolutely incredible price. I think I picked up my bottle for around $300. It might have been closer to $330. But for 27-year-old 1995 Highland Park from Gordon MacPhail, I felt for hitting 3K, this is nearly 3 decades old. I'm stretching that a little bit. I love Highland Park. I love Gordon MacPhail. I love Gordon MacPhail's sherry casks, the quality in those sherry casks. We can talk about that a little bit, but we're going to open this one. We're going to pour this one. We're going to celebrate 3K for Whiskey on the West Coast. Thanks to all of you guys. And also a shout out for Ty at COA Whiskey Wire. If you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, check it out. He just hit 500 subs. Also, if we're talking about subs and supporting people, if you guys haven't checked out Greg War's channel, Greg's Whiskey Guide, man, just one of the OGs doing great stuff in Paris. Greg, I think you're nearing 1,000 subs. I think I saw a post from Noteworthy Whiskey Sheldon. Oh man, guys, we got to get Greg to 1,000 subs pronto. You've done so much hard work on that channel, Greg. You do an amazing job. Your insights are second to none, buddy. Yeah, we got to get you to 1,000 subs. So if you guys are checking out channels, check out Seaway Whiskey Wire, check out Greg's Whiskey Guide. They do fantastic stuff. All right. Let's see if we can get a cork pop out of this bottle. That was a little late. Oh, well, it's only a bit of fun here. Let's see if we can pour this in a nice way. I love that color. Love that color. Got my Gordon MacPhail Capita glass here as well. I am a Gordon MacPhail fanboy. I'm going to put a little extra in there. I'm a Gordon MacPhail fanboy. You guys probably know that about me. Huge fan. Took in their masterclass both last year and this year at the Victoria Whiskey Festival. Jerry, you were there live for that. One more look at the bottle here before I put it back in the box. Look at the color. Yeah, absolutely love what Gordon MacPhail is doing. Last year, Richard Urquhart came out and spoke to us, and this year was Stephen Rankin. And yeah, just absolutely bangers, just pouring bangers, only bangers from Gordon MacPhail, it seems. I'm going to let that open up a little bit here. We'll give you some tasting notes. I love the detail on the bottlings too. You get so much information on the label. Yeah, they just do it right. They are my favorite independent bottler. I don't think I've been keeping that a secret. There's lots of independent bottlers I love to support, but Gordon MacPhail is probably top of my list. Oh my. I am so excited for this. I have had this once before. I've had a sample of it before, and it was immaculate. I had to have a bottle. There was no way I wasn't going to have a bottle for this. Checking in with the comments. Jerry, Victoria was incredible. My Canadian wife wants to know where you got the jersey. This jersey is from, I believe, the 2014 World Championship of Hockey. Yeah, it's an oldie but a goodie. It's a Crosby Captain Canada 87 jersey. So yeah, this is, oh my gosh, this is 11 years old, Jerry. Still fits. I don't know. Yeah, but this is a few years old, but it was for 100th anniversary of Hockey Canada. So yeah, I love it. It's great. I love their new jerseys right now for Four Nations face off though. Those I thought they were a little like cartoony at first, but they've really grown on me with that retro cool vibe. Yeah, Greg. Yeah, nice Canadian glow mat color wise. Yeah, yeah, that was in the thumbnail a bit too. We put some red on the border. Kyla did a great job with the thumbnail. We've got a theme, and there's a lot going on in the world right now. But today is actually a particular day in Canada. So, Lars, thanks for joining here, buddy. Yeah, wow. Yeah, you know all about this bottle, I'm sure, Lars. I'm sure you probably this is cross paths with you at some point. Thanks for being here, buddy. Greg, congratulating Seaway on 500 subs. Yeah, yeah, lots to celebrate, guys. This is awesome. Ty saying Greg has an awesome channel, super informative. That yeah, that's actually one of the things you absolutely can accuse Greg of. Super informative. Nice one, Matt. I also recently tried a single cast Highland Park Gordon McPhail 16-year-old 2007 cast strength bottling. Yeah, they have fantastic stocks from Highland Park, and I love that they don't have to put Secret Orkney or an Orkney or any of that onto the label. They have naming rights, it seems, with Highland Park, at least for now. Yeah, Gordon McPhail Highland Parks for me rarely miss. I do like them from ex bourbon, but I have a preference to sherry. But ex bourbon Highland Park can absolutely sing as well, guys. So yeah, let's check in here. About Laphroaig, most of the bottles I got from them have kind of loose corks. Is this common? Man, I've actually I think I've found their corks to be particularly tight, but I could uncork a couple of these bottles here, see how they're going. One company I do find loose corks from is Brookladdy's Port Charlotte's. The Laddie range and Octomore range, everything's tight. I have three different loose corks from Port Charlotte's, and one of the whiskeys, I think, an exploration series MC09? No, MC01. 09. No. MC01. I think that's gone a little flat because of the cork. I really should have gotten around to replacing it quicker, but I'll pay attention to the Laphroaigs. These have all been poured for me by Kyla so that I don't know what's in these glasses. And actually, we've got a handy little scoring chart here, an answer key from when we do want to do a reveal. Yeah, I'll pay attention to the corks. I'll test the bottles a little bit here, and we'll see what we can find out about that. Thanks for the comment. And Greg saying he's at 955 subs, 45 subs away from 1,000. Yeah, we got to get Greg there. We absolutely got to get you there, Greg. All right. This whiskey, Highland Park, 1995. What were you guys doing in 1995? I was in elementary school. Grade 1? Grade 1? I think so. But here's to you guys. Thank you so much for all the support on Whiskey on the West Coast. And thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing your Saturday with me. This is phenomenal. On the nose, stewed fruits. Ooh, Terry's chocolate orange and like toffee brittle. If you've ever like singed a citrus fruit like an orange or a lemon for like making cocktails with drinks, it's like singed orange. Orange notes are there. Tobacco and leather. Oh man. I always look for the stereotypical floral, heathery peat note in Highland Park. I do get that more commonly with the peated ex bourbons, but I mean, this is a refill sherry, but I think that actually looking at the color after 27 years, let's see if we can get that up against the flag. Maybe it shows it a bit better. I think the refill sherry, but hasn't been too heavy handed. It's giving all those kind of leather tobacco, dried fruit, orange notes, but I'm still getting that floral peat smoke from the floor maltings in Highland Park. My understanding has always been that the floor maltings at Highland Park only provide a portion of the malt, the peated portion of the malt for Highland Park. However, the individual who was leading us through the master class at the Victoria Whiskey Fest, because I took in the Highland Park master class, Adam Ellesmere, I believe it was, he suggested that at this present moment, that Highland Park is actually floor malting all of its malt. which seems like an insane amount of floor maltings. I didn't think they have the capacity to be able to make that much malt for their floor maltings for their whiskey. But he seemed very confident that right now they are not purchasing malt from the mainland. They are not bringing anything over from the mainland in regards to peated malt in particular. So it's yeah, that fascinating. I didn't think they had the capacity. Maybe they've reduced since they did their renovations last year, and maybe with the downturn in whiskey production right now, or whiskey demand, they've maybe slowed down production. I don't know, but interesting to note that. But one of the things I do look for in whiskeys and distilleries that I love is a unique signature from a floor malting. Springbank has it, Laphroaig has it, and because they partially floor malt the malt that they put into their whiskeys. So that's very topical for today. Bowmore does it. A lot of the distilleries that I really truly think have a really individual signature and characteristic do that. And so that's one of the things I look for when I'm looking for something that's actually unique, something that actually has something identifiable about it, as opposed to more generic whiskey from some distilleries. But this nose it's old. It's like the age is apparent, but it's not tired, if you know what I mean. Like the whiskey's not lazy. This is an active nose. All those notes I already said. It's much more complex than that, but man, doing live tastings is still something that gets me a little nervous, and it's a tough thing to do. But yeah, orange, stewed fruits, leather, tobacco, that floral heather peat. Oh man, even like a cranberry note, and maybe oh gosh, I thought there was this floral chocolate, this like British chocolate that had kind of like floral notes to it a little bit. Um, oh gosh, Parma. I think it was a Parma something or other. Anyways, loving this nose. Before I move on to the palate, guys, checking in with the comments. Craig echoing my sentiment. Yeah, Port Charlotte 10 corks sucks. Yeah, no, that's the big offender in my mind when it comes to loose corks. Jerry Miller was just noticing that on the Laphroaig bottle of yours recently. Wonder if it's a recent thing or if it's been going on for a long time. They did change the corks. I can show you the change in that actually right now. They changed from these plastic embossed corks to the wooden ones. So let's take a look at that right now. So one of the whiskeys we're going to be trying in the blind is Laphroaig Cairdeas Warehouse 1. If we look at that cork, try to be gentle with the sounds and the noise I'm making here. There's the bottle. You can see the cork at the top here. It's these plastic ones with the still shape on it. Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, that's a little loose. I mean, it spins. It spins. So yeah, I think you might be right about these corks. When you're actually removing it, it gets super tight. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll show you the difference with the new cork that came on the Cask Favorites 10-year-old. I'll show these Laphroaig bottles on the table to you guys, but I just don't have space for it all. So there's the Cask Favorites. Since we're talking corks, there it is there. So you can see it's wood instead of plastic now. It still has that still shape etched into it. I'm checking my cork. Yeah, it does spin a little loose. Not as loose as the Warehouse 1. But same sort of thing where you pull it out, it's actually extremely tight. You can hear that. Yeah. Fascinating. I'll try to pay attention to that and see if there is a connection. But you got at least one person with you there with Jerry Miller saying he found that with his Laphroaig corks as well. Continue to check in on the comments. Oh, some clarification. I meant chemically on whether the cast strength, it is less of a problem that the cork is loose as opposed to the classic 40. Yeah, I mean, the cast strength is going to hold up a lot better than a classic 40% when you have any air in there. Even over time, I've been told that if there's bottles that are undergoing, let's say, bottle aging and the old bottle effect, it's much more successful for actually cellaring whiskeys when they are at a higher percentage, as long as you don't have the actual liquid obviously in contact with the cork, leading to degradation of the cork. Greg, answering my question, where were you in 1995? Already working in a library, not already onto whiskey though. A lot in painting. Oh, second personal show in a gallery. I didn't know you're a painter, Greg. Fascinating. That's awesome. And yes, visiting Canada, Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, where I have some family. Oh, glad to hear you have some family here in Canada, Greg. Yeah, no, 1995 was a long time ago, and you've moved on to the Laphroaig lore. My bottle of lore is still in Alberta, awaiting being brought back to BC. That said, I'm excited for the newest Laphroaig Carchis release. It's going to come out for Fegil this year, 2025. The Laphroaig Carchis Lore Cask Strength. I can't see how that's going to miss. I can't see how that's not going to be good. Sugar Kitty checking in with a meow. Meow back, Sugar Kitty. Thanks for being here. Always good to have Sugar Kitty on board. All right. And let's see here. Jerry, I'll join you in a signatory Highland Park 100 proof series. Man, that that signatory 100 proof series has just taken the whiskey world by storm, hasn't it? One of the absolutely best values in whiskey for sure. That whole range. I think I have one bottle of Speyside M, the Secret Macallan 13-year-old kicking around. I'll have to open up that sometime soon. All right. We've checked out the nose. We got those orange leather, tobacco, dried fruits, and floral, heathery smoke notes. All things I love about Highland Park. Let's move on to the palate, guys. Thank you once again, guys, for all the support. The 3K and many more videos. Here's hoping to you guys from the West Coast. Slange. Hmm. Oh, hot damn, that's good. That is incredible. Oh, it is rich. It's sweet, but balanced with these earthy notes. A lot of things don't actually. This is one of the more communicative whiskeys when going from nose to palate. Like a lot of those flavors actually transferred over. Sometimes there's like a stark difference. Like you might get like tropicals in the nose and like coconut cream or butterscotch, maybe like yogurt notes or other such things. And you go to the palate and it's completely different. Um, this follows. This nose is absolutely what I was expect. The palate is exactly what I was expecting from the nose. Those dried fruits are there. It's like more like dates, um, maybe even like a really rich raisin, like a sultana, like bit darker, but coffee, roasted coffee notes, chocolate. Um, I don't think like bittersweet chocolate, but it's on the darker side, so maybe chocolate. The peat came across. There was this almost kind of floral element to it as well, but man, oh man, the viscosity is fantastic. It's full bodied is what I think I'm trying to say. That floral smoke, floral peat. Sometimes Highland Park can come across a little bit lighter in peat smoke, depending on especially with single casks when they're not vatted. There is some inconsistency with how smoky or peaty it is. This one is fairly rich on the smoke. Ooh, maybe even like a bit of blueberry too on the finish here. Hot damn. This is fantastic stuff. I know some people in Canada, like Kirby in Calgary. I know he has a bottle of this. I know Trenny and C on Vancouver Island, they had a bottle of this that they enjoyed greatly. I am so happy to open this bottle with you guys here today. Oh man. Jerry, 1995, just 2 years into my life in the Pacific Northwest after transferring out west. And I feel like you're a full-fledged, you know, Pacific Northwesterner at this point, Jerry. I mean, man, you're most of the way to Canadian status too at this point. Time time flies, buddy. Time flies. 30 years ago. It's 2025. I'm just processing that. Too scary. Moving on. I'm currently pursuing the combo of heavy peat smoke and dark sherry red wine cast notes in whiskey. I've been loving Kilhoman Saneg cast strength, yeah, and Lag Korakravi. Recently, Ugdal disappointed me a bit. Ugdal had like a huge reputation, much loved, much earned, I would say, but I've heard a lot of talk that recent batches have lagged in quality. Um, yeah, I can see a recent Ugdal disappointing. I don't actually have Ugdal on my shelf right now. For Ardbeg, for their core range, I got the 10. I've got the Corey Vrecken. Those are kind of my go-tos in their core range. Um, okay, for heavy peat smoke though, Kilhoman Saneg cast strength. That's been getting a lot of buzz. Recent release. I'm excited to try that at some point. Like Corey Krabby, a lot of people have loved that. Um, I would almost suggest if you like the red wine cast notes, heavy peat smoke, whenever you get a chance, the Port Charlotte Exploration series, they do a lot of fantastic stuff with red wine casks at this point. I think they took to rinsing red wine casks eventually and actually um, being a bit more careful, but like Port Charlotte red wine works really well. And yeah, that was to answer the follow-up question. Do I have any further recommendations? I'll keep giving it some thoughts here. But the first one that jumped to mind was the Port Charlotte Exploration series. Greg, picking up on those coffee notes, love them, especially combined with peat, right? You're not the only one. I'm fully on board with coffee, peat, sherry. Oh, when you get that combination all together, it's incredibly delicious stuff. Oh man. And Greg here, is that Highland Park a Canadian exclusive, Kensington Wine Market or elsewhere? I think it might have been a Canadian exclusive brought in by Authentic Wine and Spirits, James Bourne and their group, which do fantastic stuff. Let me just double check it here. It doesn't say Canadian exclusive, but I feel like they might have grabbed the entire cask and distributed it in Alberta and British Columbia specifically. Hmm. Kyla. Thanks, babe. Kirby, welcome here, buddy. Thanks for checking in. Congrats, man, 3,000, and that is a great bottle. I was just saying earlier, you might have caught, it might not, that Kirby in Calgary, I believe, has this bottle as well. We've talked about this bottle, buddy. Amazing bottle. I think you talking about it recently put it back on my mind, and I was like, you know what? There's a bottle on open to celebrate. It's going to be this 1995 27-year-old Highland Park from Gordon MacPhail. Incredible stuff. Thanks for being here, Kirby. I appreciate all the support, buddy. Mm. Jerry Miller commenting on, yeah, pretty much half Canadian these days, thanks to marrying a beautiful BC woman. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Sugar Kitty suggesting Long Row Pinot Noir cask. Yeah, absolutely. The Long Row Red series with the Pinot Noir. That would be a fantastic way if you're looking for heavy peat plus sherry or red wine casks. That's a great recommendation there, Sugar Kitty. They have discontinued the red Long Row Red series now, though. They're moving to the Long Row. I think it was full proof or 100 British proof for their next special release. So just throwing that out there. If you see Long Row Reds on the shelf, they are disappearing soon. Jerry, Kyla is always unbiased. And yeah, another one, Legic Bordeaux and Rioja casks. Seriously, dirty peat, red wine finish. Yeah, absolutely. I've had the Sinclair series Rioja. We can't get it in Canada. It's not imported. That's a big miss, if you ask me. But we can get the cast strength 9-year-old version. I'm not sure where you're located. I'm not Sugar Kitty, but the individual who is asking this question. But I will say that yeah, that's a great recommendation for Sugar Kitty. Kirby, I know where there is one of these 1995 still on the shelf in Calgary. That is worth its weight in gold, Kirby. You do a great job sleuthing and hunting down these whiskeys. That is going to be a treasure for someone to find. And honestly, I can't say I'm not tempted to ask whereabouts it's at. Because I want a backup now. I want a backup. I had it once before that convinced me to buy it from a sample. Opening it up now is making me think I need a backup. Wow. So I'm going to start introducing some of these Laphroaig bottlings right now. Um, I'm going to drink this Highland Park as we're introducing them because, again, palate being what it is, these blind samples of Laphroaig are going to blow my palate. I won't be able to taste all the nuances in this wonderful, complex, rich, and just frankly stunning Highland Park. So we're going to introduce the bottles, and we're going to get to the reason why I've got so much Canada garb going on, and then we'll go ahead and we'll get to our the reason why we're here outside of celebrating is this blind showdown of these Laphroaig Cairdeas. Okay, so we have the last 4 Laphroaig Cairdeas releases. You probably saw them on the thumbnail in these glasses, plus one more that seems kind of poignant given the most recent Laphroaig Cairdeas that was released. So I'm going to go in order of release, except for that poignant extra one that I just have a sample of. So we have the Laphroaig Cairdeas Pedro Jimenez cask strength Cairdeas release from 2021, bottled at 58.9% ABV. This here, it was seasoned in ex-bourbon barrels and ex-bourbon quarter casks, then finished in Pedro Jimenez sherry casks. This is one of the, I mean, it's not common for the Cairdeas releases to be cask strength. I'll show you the bottle here. It doesn't look much different than the tube, so I'm not going to do this for the next 2 as well. There we have it. Fill level is actually quite high because I only recently opened this Cairdeas as well. That's what it looks like there, guys. Again, that is the highest proof version that's going to be in the showdown today. I will ask your guys' help, actually, for one, that I don't have the stats on. That's with the sample. I was doing my best to get all this stuff put together for a live stream this Saturday, and that part just evaded me. Next, 2022's release, the Laphroaig Cairdeas Warehouse 1. This one is not cask strength. This is entirely from first fill Maker's Mark ex-bourbon casks, and it was only aged in Warehouse 1 on Islay. If you're not familiar, much of Lagavulin, Laphroaig, Bowmore, much of the whiskey that is actually distilled on Islay doesn't actually get aged fully on Islay. Bruichladdich is one of the few that ages all its stocks, to my knowledge, on Islay. Laphroaig, a lot of it gets shipped off to the mainland. However, they ensured to say that this Warehouse 1 Maker's Mark ex-bourbon cask release was fully matured at Warehouse 1. I've been there. I did a tasting in Warehouse 1. We pulled whiskey from 3 different casks. It was phenomenal. I loved being there. Also knowing that the Warehouse 1 was a former distillery that Laphroaig basically helped drive out of business. It was a rival distillery. I won't say drive out of business, but they were rivals. And after they closed down, I think it was Ardenstiel was the distillery. After it closed, they bought their warehouse. They moved it to Laphroaig grounds. Actually, it wasn't even the warehouse. It was the distillery building itself. They made it into their warehouse for aging whiskey, which if you go there, they'll have 3 casks laid out for you that you're going to be sampling. And then you can look through the door and see all the casks aging that they have on site. A bit different than Bowmore. If you guys want me to talk about my experience at the Bowmore number 1 vaults, I highly recommend that over the Laphroaig Warehouse 1 tasting. We can talk about that in a bit. But this is the second whiskey that's in the blind showdown for the Cairdeas. That was the 2022 release. I guess I should also point out, as I pointed out in my video, the ABV, not cask strength, instead 52.2% ABV. The 2.2 at the end represents the year it came out. So this is 2022's release. The PX was 2021's. And then bottled at 52.3%, 2023's release, when I visited Islay and Laphroaig, is the Laphroaig Cairdeas White Port and Madeira cask release. So this one is a bit of a complicated mixture, but it's 3/4 of the whiskey matured in second fill Madeira casks, and then the final quarter being finished in first fill white port casks. So 3/4 Madeira, 1/4 white port, bottled at 52.3%. Like we said, 2.3 for 2023. And I had a bit of a penchant for loving this whiskey just because this is the Cairdeas that I got to try at Laphroaig in their lovely tasting room, standing there, looking out at the ocean. Yeah, this one is near and dear to my heart because of sentimental reasons. But that is in the blind tasting. This is why we got to keep things blind in this case, because if I know just flat out which one is in which glass, I'm just gonna pick my favorite. So that's one of the reasons. Final one for bottles I actually have is this most recent and most recently reviewed whiskey, Laphroaig Kirches Cask Favorites 10-year-old. Now, this is the first Laphroaig Kirches to have an actual age statement on it since 2017, the 15-year-old. So 10 years old, bottled at 52.4%, 2.4 for 2024. This one here is actually a combination of casks. So they're pulling inspiration from the Triple Wood, which was released in 2019, which was ex-bourbon and quarter casks, as well as, I believe, sherry casks. But they're taking the ex-bourbon and quarter casks from that release, and then they finished it in Pedro Jimenez sherry casks. I'm not sure if they're first fill. I'll double check on the back here. Let's see. I'll just read it word for word. 2019, yeah, there we go. 2019's Triple Wood and 2021's Pedro Jimenez sherry cask Kirches release. It's not saying here, obviously, if they're first fill, but anyways, ex-bourbon, quarter casks, and Pedro Jimenez sherry casks. Show you the bottle here. It does have that new label. And if you watched my review, you guys know how much I love this one. Fill level's quite a bit lower. I shared this with people when we lined up at the BC Spirits release overnight. I wanted people to get to try it because I believed it was fantastic, and I wanted them to have an opportunity to buy it, because we don't get an opportunity to buy the Kirches very often. We only get about, I think, 70 or 80 bottles for the province. So it's quite hard to get. That said, as you guys know, that's what inspired me to do this Laphroaig Showdown, is because I think that might be the best one in the last, say, 4 years. But we're going to take it up a notch. Thanks to Michael Pang. He has an Instagram account called Drammers United here in British Columbia. Also a WhatsApp group. Really connecting all over the world. Michael, you're doing a fantastic job if you happen to watch this, buddy. He gave me a sample from his travels to Islay. He went to the Islay Whiskey Vaults, which I absolutely must stop off at next time I'm on Islay. And that is this Laphroaig Kirches Triple Wood. So this is one of the two that actually inspired the Cask Favorites 10-year-old that we were just talking about. So this Triple Wood, this is the one I'm going to need a little help if you guys haven't already popped into the chat to do it. I don't actually remember the ABV on this Triple Wood release, but is from 2019, and it's much loved, and so was the 2021 PX, which is why they decided, Barry McCaffrey, I think, was the distillery manager that released this Cask Favorites 10-year-old. That's why they decided to take the influences from those two, put them together, and do something for their friends of Laphroaig that we would really love. So that is the lineup in the glasses here, guys. I really appreciate you bearing with me while I introduce those bottles. Take another sip of this beautiful Highland Park. Check in with the comments, and we'll talk about why I'm wearing all this Canada stuff and get to our showdown. All right, Greg, by the way, lore I have is good, but is destroyed by the 18-year-old. Yeah, the 18-year-old would probably be a step above, eh? The sherry cask probably did make it more acidulous and rounded. Never made this comparison before, so it's interesting. Oh, awesome. I'm glad that we got a new comparison, a new kind of head-to-head there. Peat and Madeira, seriously, is probably my favorite combination after peat and port. Ooh, yeah, peat and port, those chocolatey and berry vibes you get off the port along with peat. Dang. I'm only saying because I have a backup. Yeah, I was about to say, giving out that information, probably have a backup. You probably feel pretty safe in sharing it. And then following up on those suggestions, Leche Grioca is amazing for the price here in Czechia. Oh, you're in Czechia. Oh, welcome here. Awesome. I'm hoping you love hockey too. I don't know. I visited Prague once, and it stuck with me my entire life. I love that city. It's just the most perfect walk-in city. So welcome here. Thank you so much. Costing like 40 euros for the Leche Grioca. Absolutely punching above its weight for value. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Jerry Miller, I did Warehouse 1 tasting in 2022. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about then Jerry. Oh yeah, I'm jealous that you visited Bowmore. Got some great ones on board. You know, I think you act I do think in today's day and age, you almost have to go to Bowmore to taste the good Bowmores. They're either come from Independence or they're coming from the actual warehouse one itself. Yeah, I hope you get there, Greg. It's a magical place and a place that haunts my dreams in all the best ways. All right. Oh my word. What? Okay. Well, thank you so much for this super chat. Taste and sensibility. Pretty new viewer. Like your content. Congrats on the 3,000 subs. Here's 33,000 US pennies, which won't be around much longer. Yeah, I did hear that announcement. My cart just doesn't last long, so sipping on lore. Wow. Taste and sensibility. Thank you so much for that kind and generous super chat. That's amazing. And I like the connection between the 3,000 US pennies and the 3,000 subs. Here, raising this one to you. Taste and sensibility. Do you have your own whiskey channel? Is like I'm looking at that logo and that name. That's reading that way to me. I'll have to check you out there, buddy. But thank you so much. Raising this one to you. Slange. That's incredible. Incredible whiskey, that Highland Park. Gordon MacPhail, never stop doing what you're doing. Oh, wait. They're not buying new fillings anymore. They've got plenty though, guys. Don't panic. All right, last few comments here. Do you have some logistical recommendations for visiting Isla or any whiskey-centered Scotland trip, like a specific season, accommodation, travel, and so on? Okay, if you go to my channel and you organize by most popular, most viewed videos, one of the ones in the top 20 or 30 videos there is my top 10 tips for visiting Isla specifically. And so that's where I talk about what my Isla trip was like, what my reflections were, and what my advice would be. It's not like I'm an expert in visiting Isla. I've been to Scotland once, been to Edinburgh once. But I'm going to suggest you check out that video. It's, I think, about 20 minutes long. It's a bit on the long end, but I cover transportation, I cover getting there, I cover my opinions and my experience with the tastings and warehouse tours, all that. So check that video out. Yeah, probably the easiest way to do it is to go to my channel, sort by most popular. It'll be in the top 20 or 30. Nice pick, buddy. It is mine too. Yeah, awesome. I have a general tasting channel, not just whiskey. Oh, cool. Taste and sensibility. I mean, yeah, broaden it out. That makes a lot of sense. All right. I will absolutely be checking that out. And interesting. So wine and also just spirits. Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. And September, October is a really nice time. Jerry's checking in here. Not generally crowded, but book taxi service way in advance. Laphroaig, Lagavulin, Ardbeg. It's an easy day trip with the walkway that connects the three. Yeah, it's an easy to connect those three. The Kildalton coast on the south shore of Isla. That's one of the no brainers to do those three together: Lagavulin, Laphroaig, and Ardbeg. Okay, guys, I want to ask for a little bit of patience with me on this topic, because it's not something I talk about too much, and it's not something I like to bring into the channel, but it's something I can't ignore. The reason why I've got this Canada garb on, my Canada hat, Canada jersey, Canada flag, all this, my Canada mug. It's Flag Day. It's Flag Day here in Canada. Back in 1965, Canada's new official flag became the maple leaf. It's I think it's fairly recognizable around the world. As a Canadian, I might be biased here. I like our flag. I love our flag, honestly. And any excuse to celebrate Canada is a good one these days. February 15th is Flag Day, as announced by Jean Chrétien in the 1990s to promote Canadian unity and nationalism. After we had a sovereignty referendum in Quebec, it was to help bring the country together. And so today is Flag Day. So I'm celebrating the maple leaf. We've been encouraged by former prime ministers, in particular during the climate, the global political climate, to celebrate Canada, and particularly on Flag Day today. And I'm doing so as such because I love Canada. Canada is a fantastic country, and I'm proud of our history. I'm proud of our people. I'm proud of what we've been able to accomplish as a nation. Also, there's a Canada-US hockey game today in the Four Nations face-off tournament, and I'm excited for that. That's at 5 p.m. Pacific time here. I can't wait. I can't wait to see the Stars hit the ice like my boy Sidney Crosby, number 87, Captain Canada. Big 3 points in the game against Sweden the other night. But I do have to say the current climate with Canadian-American relations is it's disturbing and troubling and is very it's making me sad, honestly. You know, I'm not going to touch too much on the tariffs and trade war aspects. I think tariffs hurt everyone. I think they hurt everyday working people. People lose jobs on both sides in a trade war with tariffs, and everyday essentials like groceries, cars, gas go up in price. It's not good for Canada's economy. It's not good for the United States economy. It's not good for Mexico's economy. It's not good for anybody who's having these tariffs leveled on them. However, what I actually want to talk more about is the special relationship Canada and the United States has. Um, our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, recently mentioned the quote from John F. Kennedy: "Geography has made us neighbors, history has made us friends, economics has made us partners, and necessity has made us allies." And it's been said to be a special relationship where we have built the most successful economic and military partnership possibly the world's ever seen, at least in the 20th century. It's been incredibly successful. As Canadians and Americans, we've fought side by side in 2 world wars, in Korea, and countless other global conflicts. In 2001, when Article 5 of NATO was triggered, calling NATO allies to the defense of the United States after 9/11, Canada answered. We answered quickly and with force. We came to the defense of the United States. We joined their war in Afghanistan for 14 years from 2001 till 2014. We patrolled the streets of Kabul and Kandahar. Canadians sweat, bled, and died on those streets defending our NATO ally, our neighbor, our friends. 159 Canadians died in that conflict. When the United States was attacked on 9/11, the planes that were stranded in air landed in Newfoundland. And the Newfoundland people, they took them in. They welcomed them with open arms. Watch Come From Away if you want the story. It's beautiful. It will bring you to tears the way that Canadians rallied to support our American neighbors, friends, our brothers and sisters south of the 49th parallel. I am particularly disturbed by the constant threats that Canada faces from the United States, calling for the annexation through economic force or otherwise by a certain someone in the White House. And I don't want to make too many comments about him, what he wants, but every day we're hearing more and more about threats to Canada, our sovereignty, our existence, telling us we shouldn't exist, that we should be the 51st state, and whether we like it or not, we will become the 51st state of the United States. I'm here to tell you that will never happen. Canada will never join the United States through force, through annexation, through military invasion. It's just simply not going to be the case. And I can't understand why a country that means so much to us, and I believe we mean so much to the American people, would make such threats. And I don't think it's the American people that really have an axe to grind with Canada. I don't know any American that really is like, yeah, screw Canada. Yeah, we need to invade Canada. We're your friends. We're your partners. We've always been there for you. But I'm going to tell you this, Canadians, we are brave people. We've accomplished a lot, but we are brave. And in the face of a bully, we stand up to bullies. That's why today I'm wearing my Canadian garb, my Canadian jersey, Canadian hat, all of it. I'm celebrating Canada. I'm hoping Canada gets a win in the hockey game today over the United States. Canadians are brave. We jumped into the fray in World War One, the Great War in 1914, 3 years before the Americans did. By the time America was joining in 1917, Canadians were already having battles in the Somme, Ypres, Passchendaele, and the immensely proud victory we had at Vimy Ridge. I've been to Vimy Ridge. I've seen the graves. I've seen the craters. I've seen the cemetery, and it will bring you to tears. We stood side by side with you in Normandy, though we joined the war many years before you did. When you were being attacked by the Japanese in Pearl Harbor, we were defending Hong Kong. 4,000 Canadians were defending Hong Kong against Japanese invasion. 4,000 Canadians were killed or otherwise captured on that day. When we see what's right, we do it as best we can. We respond. We take up arms. We are friends, we are allies, we are partners, but we are not shy to jump into the fray. When we see what's right to do, we do it. Just like when we supported you in Afghanistan, just like when we stood side by side in the Korean War. And I don't want to get into the geopolitics of war, but man, oh man, when we have a challenge, we stand up to it. And it seems like you want to challenge us right now, at least the government of the United States, not the people. So I'm just extending an olive branch. We're not mad at the American people, and we're not mad at our neighbors that we love. I mean, it's really complicated for us. We were planning our honeymoon for Hawaii, and we're not sure if we can travel to the United States now with the way things are. I don't know if our relationship as countries geopolitically will ever be the same again, but we love you. We want the love returned reciprocally, as it seems it always has been for my lifetime. Um, Canada's not going to back down. We're not going to roll over. We're not going to become the 51st state. And yeah, 1812 happened for a reason, I guess. We were invaded. We burned down the White House. That was a thing. That's more than 200 years behind us. Let's keep that garbage in the past, guys. We don't want no war. We don't want none of that. We want to continue supporting each other and building a prosperous North America and world. So with that, as you guys can tell, I'm a bit out of my element talking about that stuff, but I think it's important to say we don't hate Americans. When you hear Canada boo a national anthem at a hockey game right now, it's because we feel betrayed. Feel betrayed, and yeah, it's disturbing times. But Canadians are still working with Americans in NORAD, defending North America, in Alaska, practicing to protect Finland from invasion. Right now, that's their exercise they're working on. In Latvia, Canadians are on the ground leading the NATO force. Operation Reassurance. We're working together as partners, and I hope we continue to. But yeah, I'm going to set all that politics aside. I might not respond to all the comments here, guys, about this stuff, because yeah, it's not really what we're here for. We're here for celebration and whiskey, but the weeks we've had with the constant annexation threats, it had to be addressed. It had to be addressed. Okay. All right. I'm getting some water after that. I'm tearing up almost. All right. About the PPM. Maximize PPM. Why is that only Octomore hits the highs they do? Is it somehow difficult to smoke the barley to that level? Why are there some low-cost ones that only boast its peat? Yeah, so Octomore, one of the ways they smoke the barley is Baird's Maltings smokes the barley for them. They're actually soaking it with water. They're keeping it damp so that it can actually absorb more and more phenols. And instead of cutting it, because a lot of batches of barley, my understanding is that they cut it to get it down to 40 ppm with unpeated malt or lower peated malt to get it to like a 40 or 50, like say Port Charlotte spec or Ardbeg spec. But they're not cutting that batch. So they're fully smoking it. They're wetting it to up the ppms, and they're doing it for longer. And it does sound like an expensive process, which is why I've never given like Laphroaig, Octomore too hard of a time for their prices until recently when we've hit $350 for the 0.3s. I feel like that's yeah, getting a bit much. But that's my understanding of why it can be so expensive. Also, the very narrow cuts on the still to not have like a phenolic monster that is undrinkable, but to have something actually pretty and complex with Octomore. Greg, here's to Canada then. Thanks, Greg, buddy. Cheers. Interesting times. Hmm. Sure, yeah, at least I can move up to Canada if it becomes necessary. Man, I sincerely hope that doesn't happen. As an American, I agree. It's a special relationship. Appreciate that taste and sensibility. It is, and I'd love to see it continue. Tim, down in California, I think you are, Tim. The U.S. has never been more divided. I'm not on board with the current administration's tariffs and general bad will towards our neighbors. Appreciate that, Tim. And again, the sentiment here is that we don't understand and we don't hold it against the people. Greg, I'm with you on this, Matt. I know I don't think that argue will last. It's more of a show off for now. I understand your emotion. Yeah, I'm hoping you're right. I hope it doesn't last. I hope that might be all bluster there. Jazz and real hip hop. Hey, welcome here, buddy. Thanks for joining again, and also Tim. Thanks for joining. Always love when you stop by here. Canada and US have had some amazing relations over the last 100 years or so. We should be embracing our friendship, not dividing or proposing a 51st state. Anyways, cheers to 3K and hello everyone. Thanks for that, Jazz and real hip hop. Yeah, uh, fully on board with that sentiment. 100% in agreement. In regards to the Isla, 10 tips for Isla, I'll make sure to watch it. Hey, yeah, that's exactly why I made it. I was like, I might not be an expert in traveling to Isla, but I know my experience and I can at least share it with you guys. Brent Stewart, a proud Canadian here from New Brunswick. Well said, Matt. Thanks, Brett. Thanks for sticking with me as I stumbled through that. All right. Yeah, flying the Canadian flag. Love seeing that. It's Flag Day. It's poignant. Without wanting to go into too much into politics, it divides people. It does, and I don't want to divide people here. We face the kind of similar conflict with another neighbor currently. We'll see how it evolves. Have to be strong. Yeah, I'm all for unity and cooperation here, guys. The nickname for the American Army World War I was the Rainbow Division. The Canadian soldiers said it was the perfect name since rainbows show up after the storm. All right, yeah, that is funny. We're all friends and allies in that conflict, in that way. Hello, everybody. Hello, Cliff. Cliff, welcome here, buddy. Glad to have you on board. Oh, wow. Didn't know for your honeymoon. Hope it's solved in between. Change of plans isn't too painful. Yeah, we'll see where we wind up with that. We'll see where we wind up with that. And back to Laphroaig. Conclusion on my tonight's tasting. Weirdly, the 18-year-old wins over the lower versus the cast strength 10. That is, yeah, that 18-year-old sounds like an absolute banger, Greg. I've seen a couple bottles of that on secondary over here, and you're making me consider taking a stab at them. All right, guys. Setting this Gordon MacPhail aside, let's get to our main event. An hour in. Wow. All right. I'm gonna nose these, and I'll taste them. And I'll give my rankings and thoughts. Ooh. Right away. This one's feeling a bit shyer than I was expecting. This is a shy Laphroaig Carchus. Lemon, salted lemon rind. That medicinal iodine sort of TCP note. Oh, it's very coastal. Lots of salinity, lots of coastal elements. I guess I should show you. Do I have a way of showing you what this is? No, I don't. I'm sorry, guys. Again, we put this together as quickly as we could. So you have to remain in the mystery with me, I suppose. Oh, okay, yeah, like some like butterscotch, like butterscotch for dessert notes. Like salted lemon rind, coastal notes. That Laphroaig medicinal peat and iodine notes. It's clean though. It's like a clean Laphroaig. I have thoughts on what I think that might be, but I'm enjoying that nose. That nose is it's not more on the rich side, it's more on the elegant side. So that's glass green. That's the green glass. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Entirely different direction on blue glass. Blue glass is more in the rich notes. Kind of like a chalky mineralic note here too, though. The iodine, TCP element. There's definitely sherry in here. I mean, I suppose it could be like the white port Madeira, but I'm guessing green glass is ex bourbon fully, which I'm not going to beat around the bush. That means I think it's profiling more in the lines of the warehouse one, just on the nose. Yeah, nice sweetness, some berry notes, caramel, like a sponge toffee. But there's a rich, earthy note, some leathery vibes, but like it's like light red fruits. Hmm, interesting. There's a number of candidates that one could be. Let's hit the red glass. Red glass. Oh, whoa. Okay. Less on something darker like prunes or raisins, and more on strawberry, like strawberry vanilla, strawberry vanilla Campino. Yeah, I think it goes without saying that we're gonna have that like heavy phenolic, peat smoke on most of these. There'll be varying levels, but if you took one of these by themselves, you're gonna get that big, bold Laphroaig um, peat smoke. But this is almost going a bit herbal and like spice. Like there's almost like a cumin or something in there. Yeah, taking a pause there. Looks like some people are signing off, so I want to catch them while they're doing so. Let's see here. Cliff and Cape Breton. Just poured myself a dram of wild turkey, barrel proof to enjoy the stream. First time ever drinking wild turkey. Wild turkey, um, barrel proof. I'm guessing that's the rare breed. Hell of a pour. Great bourbon. Great bourbon. Greg's whiskey guy. Nice one, Peter White. Double rainbow in my life was in Niagara Falls, 1995. Double rainbow. That's an old meme now. Oh man. Maybe away from Pete, considering buying Aberlour or Abuna, are the individual batches comparable? Their quality oscillations. I haven't had a bottle of Abuna in quite some time, but I have heard similar rumors to the Ugdal that the most recent batches of Abuna have been on the lower side quality wise. But I can't speak to that with my own experience. So caution taking that advice. Cliff has the Scotties on in the background, some curling. That's good stuff there, bud. And there, indeed, yeah. Greg's got you covered here with the batches of Abuna. And you'll unfortunately have to go soon. Thanks for your chat. Hey, thanks for joining us. And replies, are you planning on live streaming regularly? This is nice. I do it as often as I can with my work schedule and life. We're doing some wedding planning right now. It's been crazy. I want to do it more regularly, like once every 2 weeks or so. But usually winds up being once every month to 2 months, if I'm honest. But hope is always to make it more regular. After we get married in May, maybe it'll get more regular. We'll see. Brent Stewart, good luck. I have the 22, 23, 24 cartridge poured, putting the 10 sherry and cast strength in the lineup as well to dram along, and a Deanston 18 warm. Deanston 18 is a fantastic warm up dram. I usually go with like Kleinleash 14, something like that. Deanston 18 is a great one though. I'm glad you're dramming along with me, Brent. Hey, cheers. Let's see here. And yeah, Daniel, check out Greg. Yeah, guys, check out Greg. Check out Greg's channel. All right. The black glass, the glass of mystery. Ooh, okay. This is on grapefruit and cream, like clotted cream. Grapefruit. Oh, there's a bit of like a acidic note here. Maybe like white chocolate too. The the grapefruit citrus note is really striking me with like a certain saltiness, like a salinity as well. I love the coastal notes I get from Laphroaig, done well. I love that like candied kelp element too. Yeah, this is going cranberry. This is going raspberry, grapefruit. Maybe like there's a bit of like a burnt element too. Like something's a bit like burnt, which is interesting. All right, here. If you mod a couple people, they can drop channel links. That's a great idea, Peter. I should definitely be assigning mods here. I should figure out how to do that at some point. I'm not like I'm good at a lot of things. Despite my age, tech isn't always my strong suit. That's more Kyla's strong suit. Kirby, Calgary, got to take off for now. Watch the rest later. Congrats on 3,000. Thanks for joining us, Kirby. I appreciate you, buddy. Every time you drop in and leave comments on the videos, thank you so much for jumping on to celebrate 3K. I hope you have a great Flag Day there in Calgary, buddy. Yeah, Jerry. I bet Kyla knows. I bet she does. But she could figure out awful quick if she doesn't. Okay, this black glass is now going more earthy, more into those seaweed notes. Past that grapefruit. Yeah, okay. Interesting. It was kind of going to like burnt grapefruit, like charred grapefruit for me, but got past it. Checking out the gold glass. Let's see here. Ooh, this is sticky. This is sticky, syrupy, sweet. Ooh. Leather, berries, like barbecue sauce too. Oh, I'm enjoying that. That's a nice nose. Yeah, there's like dark chocolate on there too. Savory. Less on the coastal notes. Maybe they're getting drowned out by some sherry in this. I find sherry can oftentimes cover up those more subtle nuances of a whiskey. If I get a really coastal dram, oftentimes it has a good proportion of ex-bourbon casks as opposed to like wine casks or sherry casks. Ah, it's a pretty nose though. That's just inviting me to take a sip. Wow. Okay. Initial thoughts. I think gold, based on the nose, could be leaning towards the PX. I think black could be the white port Madeira, to be quite honest. Green, thinking is warehouse one. Um, Blue and red, I think those are probably the triple wood and cask favorites. 10-year-old. For what I enjoyed, I really enjoyed. Like I'm a weird person in the Laphroaig community, I guess, because people seem oftentimes to be attracted towards the wine casks, sherry casks, and these sorts of things. I really loved that warehouse one. A lot of people thought it was a little too subtle, a little too pretty and nice, not as phenolic as they wanted. I loved the coastal notes on that. So I'm thinking the green glass is the warehouse one. I rate that quite highly, quite highly. Um, Outside of that, though, man, it's gonna be tough to rank these. I think on my initial nosing, I think black might have been the lowest one for me. Um, Gold is probably 1 or 2, honestly, because I think it might have more complexity than the green overall. And blue, man, oh, that's like a tincture of iodine on that time. Between blue and red, that's the triple wood and cast favorites. I'm guessing just off the nose. Greg said agreeing with Peter White. Please pick some mods so we could point channels, but also get rid of the possible trolls if it happens. Just saying. Yeah, you know what? That's a great idea. I know you brought that up in the past when we first started doing live streams here, Greg. We'll have to chat about that and get that going. Cliff. Oh, yeah, I forgot why we were here. Congrats on 3K, boss. Cheers, buddy. I appreciate that. Last sip of Highland Park before I absolutely blow my palate out with these smoke monsters. That's stunning. That Gordon MacPhail's stunning. Oh man, I'd love to pour that for you guys. Tim, I have the latest cast favorites expression. I'm curious to see how the 2023 White Port Madeira fares as it's still readily available. I have my notions about the White Port Madeira. A lot of people love them. John from Just Whiskey, I think that's his favorite Carchus. So yeah, I wanted to do this blind so that I could remove any bias I have. Because I'm quite high on that cask favorites. Moving on to the next one here. Purchased 200th anniversary release in 2015 was bourbon only and was excellent. Yes, I've never had it. I would love to try it. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Peter, I think that was the entirely floor malted at Laphroaig edition as well, which is very rare to have something just 100% floor malted at Laphroaig. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was that one. So it's ex bourbon. You could actually see what whiskey only made with Laphroaig floor malted barley tastes like. Quite something. Okay, we're gonna go in the same order here. We're gonna go ahead and do green, blue, red, black, gold. All right. First drop of the frog, if you will, from a green glass. Seems fitting. Cheers, guys. Thanks for being here. Hmm. There is something about that first sip of Laphroaig. There is something about that. The lemon lime citrus thing is absolutely going off. The coastal elements are off the Richter scale. Rich peat in the background now on the finish. Almost like oh, if you like smoke infused a like toffee nut like brittle or something like that. Like man, dessert tones, lots of dessert tones, lots of caramel, lots of ex bourbon notes. But I am absolutely in love with the coastal elements. Hmm. Starts off with that lemon lime citrus, salted lemon or lime, coastal notes into that seaweed sort of candy, um, candied seaweed, TCP Band Aid iodine, toffee caramel. Only fruits I'm getting are the citruses, which is unfortunate because I do like my Laphroaig to go a bit more tropical, and it seems to hit those more tropical notes into like the ah let's say 20s, 18s, 18s and higher. Um, a little simplistic when it comes to the fruiting level, I will say, but that profile right in my wheelhouse. Loving it, loving that. That is cool. Let's see here. Brent Stewart, buddy, thank you so much with this super chat here. Long time watcher, first time commenting today. Cheers. I enjoy your authenticity and content. Cheers from the East Coast. Brent, I'm going to raise this glass of Laphroaig up to you, buddy. First time commenting today. Thanks for breaking the ice and breaking the silence. Really enjoyed you jumping in the fray here today. I appreciate it immensely, and I hope you're not a stranger. I hope you check in every once in a while. Yeah, no, thank you so much, and for the kind words to you, buddy. Cheers. Okay. Wow. Thank you. Taste and sensibility. My Kirch's port wine cast only has two pours left. That's the 2020, I think, right? But it's great. I can't tell what year since it just says 52%. I'm thinking about 2019. So I'm fairly certain that's the 2020. And that would probably be why it's exactly 52% since we got the 52.2, 0.3, and zero point 0.4 for 2022, 2023, and 2024. So yeah, I think it's 2020. I distinctly remember that one because in Canada, for some reason, there was an extreme price increase on that edition of Laphroaig Carchus. I don't really know why. But the port and wine casks Usually the Carchus releases were about $130 here in Canada, so Canadian dollars. That one was 190, and it was like the edition before it was like 125. The edition after it was 130, but that specific one was 190. I didn't buy it. I said to hell with that. Um, I might pay that for it now because I like collecting Laphroaig Carchus. As you can tell, I've got a few. Um, but it sounds like it's actually a great pour. So I'm glad you got that with you there, taste and sensibility. It sounds like a good one. But yeah, 52%. I think it's 2020. Greg, lost connection for a few minutes. Sorry, what did I miss? Any favorites among those blind ones? Yeah, the noses. I think I went with the blue and gold and red as some of the leaders. I think I'm guessing triple wood and cast favorites are in the blue and red glasses. Warehouse one, I'm solidly suspecting is the green. Gold, I think might be the PX. White Port and Madeira, the black. I think on the nose, the White Port and Madeira was the last place. Just in the nosing section, we just started sipping on the green. Peter, I think the idea for the 2015 Carchus was to replicate how the original Laphroaig was produced, which jives with that idea of entirely floor malted there. So yeah, I think that would be the case. Spiritual buddy, thanks for joining here. I'm sorry that it started before you were on here, bud. Did I miss the Highland Park tasting? You did because we're on to Laphroaig and that blows out the palate. But I hope you go back and watch the replay a little bit of that. I will tell you, this Highland Park 1995 27-year-old Gordon MacPhail is stunning. It is absolutely fantastic whiskey. Dark fruits, leather tobacco, a nice floral smoke, orange. It's absolutely just gorgeous, gorgeous whiskey. I can't recommend it enough. You probably won't be able to find this specific one though. Our buddy Kirby in Calgary, who's checked off now, said there's still at least a bottle, if not bottles, available in Calgary. That might be hard to acquire from Finland, buddy. Um, but yeah, no, look out for these Gordon MacPhail Highland Park bottlings. They're pretty dang good. John, buddy, just whiskey. Cheers, Matt. Congratulations. Thanks, bud. We were just talking about you earlier. I'll raise this glass to you. Thank you. Mm. It came up that you're a big fan of that White Port and Madeira release, which I'm guessing right now is in this black glass here. Yeah, so I was giving a plug to you there as being a big fan of that one, possibly your favorite. Don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think you said that it was your favorite of at least the most recent ones. And yeah, Greg, give you an update on that one there, Smeargle. Yeah, like I could probably still smell it, honestly. Oh, I shouldn't. It's too good. It's too good. Set that aside. Okay. We tasted the green, solid stuff, coastal. Definitely more on the malt signature and character too. Not too covered up. Light on the fruits, but big on the phenolics, on the Laphroaig signature, the Band-Aid TCP iodine notes, seaweed notes, big peat smoke. If I don't mention peat smoke, guys, all these are heavily peated. It's just what I expect with Laphroaig, and so sometimes I forget to actually mention that part. Moving on to the blue. Mm. Oh wow. Ooh, there is a complexity in this blue that there wasn't in the green glass. Complexity is, oh man. Okay. I feel like this is doing a really good dance between ex bourbon and sherry casks. I feel like you're getting highlights of both in there. This is rich on the palate. This is absolutely rich on the palate. Not as naked as that green glass. Red fruits, but also orchard fruit, possibly even stone fruit or apricot, something like that, along with these darker fruits like blackberries, raisins. There's this leather, there's this earthiness, which I love. You heard those notes with the Highland Park. Those are my jam when it comes to anything sherry. They work so well with peat. Oh man, this is good. This is good. Oh, I love my Laphroaig, guys. What can I say? That's so well integrated with the peat. The peat just like surrounds all the fruits that you're going to be getting from those casks, and it's just injecting this earthiness, this richness. And of course, the smoke. Mm. That is going to be tough to beat on the palate. That is going to be tough to beat. Oh boy. Comments, comments, comments. You guys are chatting away. This is awesome. Loving this. Smeargel, congratulations for the 3K. Not sure if you saw, but I said on Instagram, I ordered the Gordon MacPhail 15-year-old Klein Leash. Oh, excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I love Klein Leash. I particularly love Klein Leash from ex bourbon or refill sherry. Let me know what the cast type is there. And yeah, I'll have to jump on and check the Instagram messages. I know, Greg, you sent me one there too, as I was frantically trying to set up for the live this morning. We had some technical issues that got sorted just in the nick of time. Greg, P.S. I plead guilty. I finally didn't buy I finally didn't buy the Highland Park single cask for La Maison de Whisky. Instead, booked a bourbon cask Maison de Whisky exclusive as well as Cavalan. Crazy good and different from all I tried so far. That ex bourbon Cavalan that you sent a picture of and we're talking about, that sounds incredible, Greg. And the low ABV on it is very interesting. Speaking to potentially tropical aging and dunnage warehouses. That sounds like a absolutely special Cavalan, Greg. Nice choice there. Peter White recently got a North Star Spirits Secret Orkney 15-year-old Highland Park Oloroso matured cast strength was on sale for $102 Canadian. Steel very. I have the same one, Peter. I'm enjoying it. About 2 glasses into that. I love Ian Croucher and what he's done with North Star. I'm very curious to see what he does with the Del Riata distillery, as long as that's still going ahead with the whiskey climate being what it is. But yeah, big props to North Star. One of my favorites in the indie independent bottlers, and the North Star Orkneys, especially when they're sherry casks, Oloroso, and they feel like they don't miss at all. Yeah, I should review that soon, or at least throw it in a live. Maybe we should do a Highland Park live stream. Caught lots of Highland Park. It's one of my passions for distilleries. So maybe that's on the offering. Let me know if you guys would like that idea, a Highland Park live stream. And John Just Whiskey, yes, the White Port 2023 is my favorite so far. Yeah, always got to be open. Always got to be open to getting bested, right? Let's see here. Greg saying he always hears good things about North Star as well. Yeah, no, they do great stuff. Jerry also plug for North Star. Love the North Star stuff. Haven't seen it south of the border here in Washington State. Yeah, all the North Star stuff that I have, Jerry, comes out of Calgary. That's the place to get it. Is Alberta. The North Star Sirius 1988 blended malt, which I believe is mainly, if not entirely, Klein Leash and First Fill X Bourbon, is one of my favorite whiskeys ever. 31-year-old, and I believe it cost $180 for a 31-year-old 1988 First Fill Expert. It's just incredible. Yeah, great value, great whiskey. They're doing it right. Sherry cask matured bottled at 46% is very impressive. Brent Stewart, latest purchase is sublime. A few drops of water and it sings. I have grabbed some water to throw in these whiskeys. It's a bit of a novelty though. If we get around to it, I was gifted these bottles of Uska Source Water of Scotland, and they come with different regions. This one is an Isla region. This was a stocking stuffer I received from Tyler. What's up, Tyler? Yeah, so the whole idea is to use water sourced from the same region to dilute your whiskey. So there's a Highland, there's a Speyside, there's an Isla. I don't know if they have like a Lowlands or a Campbelltown. So I might play around with this a little bit later on the stream. We'll see how we're doing for time. I was hoping that this could be one of our shorter streams instead of 3.5 hours, like I did with Sheldon. Yeah, we'll see. But I'll set that water. Maybe I'll put it right here, and we'll see if we get around to that, guys. All right, Pete. What's up, Pete? Welcome here, buddy. Looking forward to catching this later. Got friends here tonight. Hey, Pete. I mean, thanks for checking in, throwing a comment on there. Yeah, I hope you enjoy the replay, and thanks for actually picking it up on the replay, buddy. It's always a pleasure when you stop in. I think you'll enjoy the Highland Park tasting. That's a fantastic whiskey, and yeah, I don't know. I talk a bit about Canada and the United States in the middle there. It is what it is. But these Laphroaigs are going down good. Pete, thanks for jumping in and joining us there, buddy. Peter, what have 9-year-old Heaven Hill from North Spirits as well, finished in Ardbeg cast. 9-year Heaven Hill? Huh. That is unique, buddy. That is very unique. Very cool. And sounds like a winning Klein Leash there, Smeargel. I have one from 2015, Gordon MacPhail, cast strength. Um, this is great, so I believe you. And yeah, you did answer my question there, didn't you? The Klein Leash is refill sherry hogshead German with yeah, yeah, and yeah. The Highland Park is a 27-year-old 1995 refill sherry. Um, buddy, awesome stuff. And then Pete, I shall pour Laphroaig flight tomorrow and watch. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if you're hosting friends, you want to obviously be present and in conversation and enjoying the company with them there. Yeah, tomorrow sounds like a great time for a Laphroaig tasting. I wonder what special Laphroaigs you might have in your arsenal there, buddy. I'm sure something special. All right, moving on to the red glass. Blue was impressive. It's going to be hard to flip and beat that. Let me tell you. All right, on the palate. Hmm. This seems sweeter than the blue glass. There was a moment where I almost went like red vine, licorice candies. But again, very similar to that blue glass, a bit more of a mineralic moment on the finish here, like almost like a chalky candy sort of thing, like rockets. That peat smoke, that peat is really well integrated, and it's doing the same sort of thing as that blue glass, um, where it's just like adding this earthiness and that billowing peat smoke and a bit to that richness with all those savory sweet notes on this. Mm, rich, earthy, leathery tobacco. There are red fruits there, but it actually feels like it might be a bit deeper and darker. Less I think possibly even less from those ex bourbon casks. I think the sherry has a bit more to say here. There's a chocolate and like roasted espresso note on that, kind of like what I was getting off the Highland Park earlier, just not as evocative. That's good. That's really good. I s- I think for my nosing, I pegged the blue and the red as the cast favorites and the triple wood, and I wasn't sure which one was which. I'm suspicious that I might have been right on that. They're very similar, very similar, and I'm loving both of them. All right, the black glass, the black glass. Yeah, right back to that charred grapefruit note. It is coastal though. Okay, on the palate. Hmm. Searching for different elements to kind of separate these, put them apart. Um, stone fruit on this one. I think for a fruit element, very much. The finish is all smoke, is all char, is all peat and iodine. That seaweed sort of band aid note. But yeah, the stone fruit is probably the one of the more unique notes of this one compared to the others. Hmm. Second sip, the richness is bumping up a bit. Chocolate and strawberry. Again, I think I got strawberry on the nose with that one as well. Steak char, like burnt ends on the finish right now. A little bit of peppering too, like a steak spice, like peppering. I think it's better on the palate than it is the nose. And I think I might be sticking with this. My guess on this being the white port and Madeira. Mm. Yeah, there's almost like this like green grape sort of note too. Yeah. What I will say, I don't think there's a bad Carchus that I've had. I've enjoyed all the Laphroaig Carchuses I've had, which might just mean I don't have high enough standards, or it might mean that I'm a fan and they do great stuff. Peter White, Jerry Miller. If I was in a border state close to Alberta, I would take a U-Haul to Calgary and that that mighty US dollar, fill it with single malts. Yeah. The prices in Calgary, it's hard to beat, and the selection as well. Um, that is like the nexus of all things great whiskey in Canada. I think it might be like the best whiskey hub in North America. There's a reason why me being a British Columbian, and about a what? I think I'm an 8-hour drive. If I drove straight through the Rockies, I think I'd get to Calgary in about 8 to 10 hours. There's a reason why I'm always talking about Calgary and Kensington Wine Market and my favorite shops out there, Kensington Wine Market, Crown Cellars, BSW, Craft Cellars, Co-op World of Whiskey. That's the place to be for whiskey in Canada, let me tell you. But we got a better whiskey festival. Victoria Whiskey Festival kicks arse. Oh, should I say more Canadian sayings on this stream, guys? Um, I'm feeling uber Canadian today, so maybe I should just steer right into it. Smear gel. Question for Greg: have you tried Catalan Sherry or Vino? I've had personally. I can tell you, I've had the Vino Marique. Vino Marique is one of my favorites from Catalan, and their sherry is highly recommended by people. Laphroaig comments here. Laphroaig wise, I know the special barfly has a 1960 distilled bottle of them. He still doesn't dare to open. Hope he'll do someday. Is that the one that Roy's got? I know Roy opened a vintage bottle to 10-year-old on the Aquavite Barflies live stream. Um, interesting. 1960s Laphroaig. I mean, if we're talking especially like Italian import, those bottlings are legendary. 1960s Laphroaig, the whiskey fun score surge has left them are just some of the best whiskeys ever made. Yeah, there's something about old Laphroaig. Something about old Laphroaig. I will say, and I want to cover it in a best independent bottlings of 2024 video, if I can get around to it. Um, Independently bottled Secret Laphroaig has absolutely been one of my themes for independent bottlings this past year. And in particular, 1990s, 1991, Laphroaig distillate that's labeled as an Isla. There's been ways you can tell, and there's information that you get from people like, say, Elixir, about some of their single malts of Scotland releases, or Portiskeag's, the Portiskeag 28-year-old. I absolutely fell in love with that bottling, and it's at a fantastic price for what it is. Um, Boutique had a PX Octave sherry cask release of 28 or 29-year-old Laphroaig that came out. That was great too. Not my style for that age. I like it more refill or ex bourbon, but yeah, old 1990, 1991 era Laphroaig Secret Isla. It's not always Kalila, guys. It's not always Kalila. It's not always Bunnahabhain. Um, Sometimes it's Laphroaig, and there's a few bottlings I'd love to talk to you guys about in that vein that are just crackers. Just crackers. Let's see here. Um, yeah, lots of discussion back and forth here, guys. Jerry talking to Peter. Yeah, I've considered that myself. I've never have an issue bringing more than my limit back in the United States. Once returned from Scotland with 13 bottles, so I should give Alberta a go. You absolutely should give Alberta a go there, Jerry. And if you need something, I mean, we've met up enough times, buddy. I'm sure we're gonna run into each other again. If there's a particular bottle you got your eyes on, I could always order it here to the Fraser Valley, and it's a bit closer to home. But yeah, no, Alberta, start checking out some of the sites, buddy. I'm sure with your American dollar buying power, you'll find some incredible deals. Man, I have so many comments to catch up with, guys. I'm loving this. Let's see here. Okay, this might be a great one to trick people with blind, right? To Peter, uh, head scratcher. Sergio, I haven't really gotten into Laphroaig myself. Perhaps I should try Carchus and see if it pulls me in to like them more. Yeah, if you want to start a Laphroaig Carchus, the most recent cast favorites, 10-year-old, it's got an age statement, healthy ABV, non-chill filtered, it's natural color. And I think it's, again, one of the best in a long time. I was desperate to get a second bottle, a backup bottle. Taste sensibility, note to self, buy lower in Carchus every time you see it. Yeah, that's absolutely one of the standard operating procedures I like to live by. Buy Laphroaig Cartridge every time I see it. Four Leaf Whiskey. Hey, welcome here. Hey, congrats on 3,000 subs. Thank you so much, guys. If you have not checked out Four Leaf Whiskey, the most amazing Irish whiskey content on YouTube, Four Leaf. Thank you for joining us. This is great. Great to have you here. All right. This gold glass now. Moving to that. Very much on dark fruits on the nose, but on the palate. Sticky, syrupy sherry. Bit of that coffee note. Those licorice vibes I was picking up very much on this. Stewed raisin. Oh man. Oh, what's that like a raspberry liqueur. There's one that Odd Society makes that I'm thinking of right now, but it's like a thick, juicy raspberry liqueur. Those peat elements are coming through too, but yeah, a little less phenolic than some of the others. Again, when we have like wet sherry casks, when we have heavy sherry casks, commonly I find that it can tamp down those phenolics a bit. Still like identifiably Lefroy though. Again, I don't think any of these are necessarily bad. It's just like degrees of good. And this one here, it's very much if you love Pedro Jimenez. I'm guessing this is the 2021 Pedro Jimenez casks. If you love Pedro Jimenez, I feel like this is right up your alley. Mm. Yeah, those Laphroaig signatures are coming through. The seaweed, band-aid, TCP iodine, peat smoke. But this is all about the sweetness. This is all about the dessert tones. Like, man, this would be a great like campfire outside camping or at the cabin. You know, you've had like you've roasted some hot dogs over the fire or like s'mores, all that. This will cut through anything. This will burn through anything that your palate's been through and still fully deliver on the palate. Yeah, this is good, guys. This is really good. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. We've run through it once. We're at a bit over an hour and a half here. I will say the Highland Park will remain the highlight of the day, but I'm loving these Laphroaig Carchus releases. Greg, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you it's so hard to get these in France because they are I don't buy every edition of Laphroaig 10 cast strengths, though I respect it, admire it. It's enjoyable and I love it. I pick up the Carchus every year. I think some people may have been critical of the Warehouse One just because maybe they felt it was a bit too close to like a standard 10-year-old cast strength release. But first pass through, if I'm putting these into order, joint tied for first, red and blue. Third is going to be gold. Fourth is green, which it's really close between gold and green. Fifth is black. I think number 5 is White Port and Madeira, the 2023 release. Sorry, John. Um, green is Warehouse 1, Maker's Mark, ex bourbon, matured. Gold, I'm going to guess, is the 2021 PX Carchus. Tend to take a stand here, Matt. I think the blue glass is the 2024 cask favorites, 10-year-old. The red glass would be the 2019 triple wood Carchus. But those two, I might flip. I might flip on. That's my ordering so far. So I'm going to ask you guys' feedback here on how I proceed. I could run through these again. I also could do a reveal of the one I'm certain is last place for me. Black is I'm certain is last place. So I could reveal that whiskey to you guys and then carry on. Actually, black and green, I feel like they're two of the most obvious ones here. I could do a reveal on those and let you know where we stand and then carry on with retasting those three, or I can just go through the whole range again and then try to come up with a final answer and do a full reveal. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Checking in on those said comments. Brent Stewart, has anyone tried the Highland Peated 18 from Boutique Whiskey Company? Yes, I have a bottle. I have a bottle open. I would run and grab it and taste it for you. But Laphroaig palette. It's good. It's peated Annock, is my understanding. So if you've ever had like their peat heart releases, that's what it is, as far as I know. I've talked to some individuals with a certain independent bottler. Don't want to get them in trouble. They're not going to watch this, but I'm 99.9% certain that is peated Annock, and it is good. It is a good value. I think it's on sale at Craft Sellers for $90 for an 18-year-old Highland peated single malt Scotch whiskey. I enjoy it. It's not the most complex whiskey. It's not say stunning, but it's, I mean, are you doing is there a better value for 18-year-old peated whiskey? Yeah. I recommend it. It's not world changing or like say like setting a new whiskey horizon for me, but it's good. If you had peated Annock, that might prepare you for what is to come. They've released some single casks of it too, but yeah, I love that boutique core range. Their 30-year-old blended grain is good as well, as long as you are into more heavy woody notes. If you like a lot of oak impact, I mean, I want to pour the 30-year-old boutique that boutique whiskey company blended grain for some bourbon lovers. I think bourbon lovers would be all over that whiskey. But yeah, I enjoyed it. That's all I can say about it, Brent. And maybe we'll have to do a boutique tasting. So we got Highland Park live stream. We got boutique whiskey company live stream, which I might be able to get someone from boutique on for that. Actually, Highland Park wouldn't join, but boutique might. Yeah, let me know what you guys want in regards to future live streams. It always helps me kind of focus up and get kind of a theme going that I can prepare. Greg, nope, it's not Roy. Not sure he wants to be known, but he said it in the chat. VPub fans, he's the picture man. Oh, yes, the picture man. I won't mention his name to help protect him. Taste and sensibility, go with your gut, Matt. Yeah, I'll go with my gut. Why not? Yeah, Matt, I recommend the 2023 Williamson Carnmore bottled at 47.5 awarded. Yeah, those Carnmore Williamsons are actually really stonking good quality. Keg and Cork in Edmonton had a single cask, a cask strength of them as well. But the standard, I think it's strictly limited, is the range that they put those 47.5 Williamson Carnmores at. Yeah, they're awesome. They're fantastic. And Brent Stewart talking on sale at the moment, considering it rumored to be Annock from Kensington Wine Market. Was in last year's Advent, which I didn't get. Yeah, I enjoyed my bottle. Peter White, no. Do you have this bottle? Laphroaig 1967 Samaroli is the highest rated whiskey on Whiskey Base. 64,000 pounds should get you one. Yeah, my mortgage has something to say about that. Oh man, for a second there, I thought you had that bottle. I was like, no way. Thanks, man. I don't know what I did, Jerry, but you're welcome. Taste and sensibility. Whenever I travel, I take several wine bottles as gifts and return with even more whiskey. I like that strategy. I like that strategy a lot. When I traveled to Scotland, I brought some Canadian whiskey with me and returned with a brand new suitcase, luggage that I had to buy from a store in Edinburgh, and many, many, many bottles of whiskey. Leave with one piece of luggage, return with two. That's the modus operandi for visiting Scotland. Oh, you haven't tried it, but 1974 Laphroaig for La Maison du Whisky was ace. One of the best Whiskey Live Paris memories. Yeah, I imagine a 1974 Laphroaig would be pretty good there, Greg. Not to undersell it. Wow. Oh man. Four leaf, love PX finish. Yeah, like if you want that sticky syrupy dessert goodness, red fruits, chocolates, coffee, like usually PX will deliver. Like a good PX will deliver that, especially if it's peated. Oh man. Insane price for some of my rarest Japanese. Yeah, some really good Scotch Malt Whiskey Society Yoichis are pretty expensive, and I hear very good. And I'm laying on this Canada stuff pretty thick. Sorry guys if it offends ye, but I'm a proud Canadian today. Flag Day. Let's go. Justin Wan. Hello. Looks like I'm late. Hopefully the party isn't ending soon. I mean, we're not going to go 3.5 hours like we did with Sheldon. I'm saying that right now. But we got a good chunk left here, Justin. Welcome to the party. We tasted the Highland Park Gordon MacPhail 27-year-old 1995, which is stunning. We've done a first pass on the nose and palate for all the Laphroaigs here, and we've got a sense of what they might be and where they kind of stack up. And we're gonna decide how we do the reveal here shortly. Greg's saying, yeah, start with your least favorite, Matt. Yeah, so we can do that reveal of the least favorite. See if anyone else has said here. I love Ardbeg, but I struggle with Laphroaig. It's just too medicinal. And I can see that. I can absolutely understand that four leaf. Because it is a particularly unique and singular type of character. Like not everybody likes those really medicinal Laphroaig notes. I, for one, I absolutely love them. I think it's one of the best outdoor whiskeys. I picked up on that thanks to Rob at Whiskey in the Six. It's one of those whiskeys that you can nose outdoors without really losing much at all. And yeah, it's just a great campfire whiskey. I love my Laphroaig, but you guys can tell, I'm sure. Sergio, I've tried Laphroaig 10-year-old standard balling and quarter cask. And I just really hate how those lose peatiness fast once open. That is a problem with Laphroaig. That they are notorious for going flat once you open them. I think it's more of a problem with 10-year-old quarter cask, anything low ABV. I don't think it's as much of a problem when you have these higher strength bottlings. Mine have actually kept pretty good, but you do lose like a bit of something there. Like I don't know if there's a whiskey that hits quite like a fresh crack Laphroaig. But yeah, it is a real problem. You're not wrong. Yeah, the 10-year-old and quarter cask. Like I have a quarter cask bottling in the cabinet right now, and it's definitely gone a bit flat. It being about halfway down the bottle doesn't help it. And I don't know if I'll rebuy quarter cask or 10-year-old. Like it's good to have on a shelf for someone who's never had Laphroaig before. But when you go back to it, you realize like it's a shell of its former self. That is a problem for Laphroaig, and they have that reputation now. So yeah, no, good observation there, Smeargel. Brent Stewart, big Laphroaig fan here. My wife got me a bottle of 25-year-old for my birthday. Very lucky man. I should say so. Very lucky man indeed. Damn. How was that 25-year-old? Chaz Chili. Yo, Mr. Hats hits 3K. Way to go, sir. Thank you so much, Chaz. I appreciate that. Thanks for checking in, buddy. The hat thing, man. The hat thing. I don't wear these hats ironically either. I do wear flap brim hats all the time, my day-to-day life. It's just I don't know. They suit the ginormous size of my head. Thanks for the info, Matt. I'll pull the trigger. Yeah. Yeah, I think that you're safe at that price for that bottle. That's a good price for that bottle. I almost wanted to pick up a second, but wedding budget. Cliff, wow, Brent, nice. Your wife looking for a son? Yeah, yeah. If she's doling out 25-year-old Laphroaigs, why not, right? And yeah, Greg confirming the Carnmore Williamson strictly limited, very small batch. Yeah, about 1,100 bottles, it seems. Um, Peter, what had a Ben Nevis sherry peated Carnmore 5-year-old? Yeah, excellent. I have a 5 and a 6. I know exactly the ones you're talking about, Peter. Very good stuff. Kind of like dirty Ben Nevis. Really enjoyed that. Pete, sherry, Ben Nevis. Yeah, that'll do well. That'll do well. And then 4-leaf brought back 42 bottles from your trip to Ireland. I totally understand. How many suitcases was that? Or did you like ship them back? That's a lot of bottles. But yeah, you're going. You got to make it worthwhile. It's a big trip from North America, so I get it. I get it. Okay, I think I know how we're going to proceed here, but we'll check in with one more taste and sensibility. I just visited my son in Brooklyn and hit a little kosher wine shop I frequent there. Usually look for Israeli whiskeys and wines, but this time I found an old dusty 2010 Aaron 10 and 2013 Anok. That's what I love about stopping into these like little mom and pop like liquor stores. Like sometimes the sketchier location, the better. You'll find gems. I found a 1978 Glenglassaugh old malt cask, 27-year-old. It was bottled in 2005, 1978 to 2005, and last year in 2024, it was still sitting on this shelf at this liquor store here in BC. And like not a fancy liquor store at all. Dust on everything. I think it was a bit over $200. 27-year-old Glenglassaugh, pre-renovation, like pre-closure. Um, yeah, no, I love that. I love that story. Thanks for sharing that taste and sensibility. That's awesome. All right, I'm going to reveal the black and the green because I'm solid in my. I think I'm solid in my guesses on those. One more sip of the. I'm going to do a sip of the green, stick of the black. I think I know that these are my fourth and fifth choices here today, but then we'll do the reveal. Yeah, I'm 90th percentile certain green glass is warehouse one. It's that type of Laphroaig character that I believe you could drink almost anytime. It's one of the more approachable Laphroaigs while still having a like actual good palate. It's not thin. It delivers on the flavors. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's warehouse one, X Maker's Mark, Carchis from 2022, and then this one. Yeah, I enjoy that on the palate on its own. Side by side with these other cartridges, I don't think I enjoy that as much. It'll be really funny if that's the cask favorites 10-year-old that I just reviewed and said might be the best of the cartridges released in the most recent years. I don't think it is. I think that is the 2023 White Port and Madeira cartridge. All right, let's do a reveal. See how I did on those two. All right. Here's the board drawn up beautifully by Kyla. Nice work, Kyla. All right, we're going to reveal the black first, since I'm placing that fifth in this showdown. Revealing here, black is A equals Madeira. So A is the white port. Black is the white port, and Madeira, Laphroaig Carchis. Yeah, called that out. I think for me, it has this really distinct grapefruit, and almost like burnt grapefruit vibe on the nose, which I enjoy, but it goes kind of into these more like bitter fruits, bitter citrus, paired with kind of these burnt notes of like steak ends, like burnt ends, like steak char, all that sort of stuff. It's good, but it's not hitting the same way as some of these other Laphroaigs. And maybe I'm just like in the more sweeter elements of these other Laphroaigs. If you enjoy a more bitter Laphroaig or bitter peated whiskey, I think that might be more your jam. But yeah, black, officially White Port Madeira. We'll pull the bottle out here. This is your 5th place finisher today. White Port Madeira, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. Sorry, that was cheesy as all else. All right. Next reveal. We're going to reveal green. All right. Green, heavily suspecting that's the Warehouse 1. Green is C. C is Warehouse 1. I don't know if you guys can see that. C is Warehouse 1. Black was A, Madeira. So Warehouse 1. Yeah, called that out. Really enjoy that whiskey a lot. It's just up against some stiff competition. I think if I was starting a night with say like not highly, let's say above 50% ABV Laphroaig bottlings, I think I would start my night with the Warehouse 1 and then move on to maybe a 10 cast strength release and then the other Cartius releases. Although 10 cast strength, that might be high. All I'm saying, it's a great place to start with Laphroaig on a night and really enjoy it, even though it finished 4th. That bottle, just to do the same honor, same treatment. The Warehouse 1 Cartius Maker's Mark X Bourbon 2022. Well done. Just not quite up to the same levels as the others. All right. Let's see if we get some reaction with that here, guys. Justin won. The cast strength definitely holds up much better when it comes to falling flat on the pizza. Yeah, exactly. That seems to be the key with Laphroaig. If you're gonna have a Laphroaig that you're hoping hangs out for a few months or a year, it's got to be cast strength, I think. Peter White on those Carnmore Ben Nevis is actually 6 years old. Okay, yeah, it wasn't a 5-year-old. You're right. There's a 6 and a 7-year-old. One of which was actually gifted to me by Watchman 999. Thank you, Watchman, if you watch this. I am enjoying that whiskey. Brent, yeah, 4-leaf Insane Hall. No kidding. That is a lot of whiskeys. That's filling deep in numbers. Yeah, their breakdown videos of what they bring back are insane. Absolutely awesome. Lars, love the boutique 18-year-old Highland peated and the 30-year-old blended grain. Had to buy bottles. Yeah, likewise, Lars. We're on the same wavelength here. I'm glad we both picked up bottles of those. Guide. Let's see here. Wow, Matt. Hope the level wasn't too low. Is that in regards to Laphroaig quarter cask? If so, I mean halfway down is where that one went, and yeah, it's flat for sure. Justin one. Let's see. Yeah, lots of chat here, guys. Awesome. Brent agreeing. Yeah, lower proof Laphroaigs. They tend to lose steam quickly. Yeah, 100%. I'd gladly take that white port off your hands. I do have a backup of the white port. So if you happen to find a 2024 Cask Favorites 10-year-old, I'd probably be your man for a swap. Because, man, if you checked out my review of that 2024 Cask Favorites, I think I'm in love. Tim, Thompson Bros, Redacted Bros. Yeah, Redacted Bros in the United States. 12-year-old Williamson bottle brought me back into the Laphroaig camp last year. My tastes have obviously changed since trying a challenging Laphroaig 10 many years ago. Yeah, people kind of go on a journey with Laphroaig. It's not like a linear line of like, it's not typically a linear line of like, oh, I absolutely love Laphroaig. And then, no, Matt, about the old Glenglassaugh you saw in the shop. The fill level was fantastic, Greg. Fill level is like up there. I've opened it. I've actually fill level now is at half. Yeah, I brought that to the Victoria Whiskey Festival. I shared that with Stephen and Jerry and Andrew for Kinston Wine Market and a number of other people. I shared that with everyone. Glenn Glassa, 1978, 27-year-old. I got it for a good price, so I just wanted to, spread the love. So, um, yeah, I, it's in good shape. The cork, there was 3 bottles of it. I bought one because I wasn't sure what shape the cork was in, which the cork was in okay shape. I did replace the cork, and the whiskey was not corked itself. No problems with it, in good condition. Fill level is great. I should have bought all 3. Finances are what they are. I left the others, and regrets, but I was able to share that around, and I think that was a birth year bottle for Steven too, Philip Barfly. So glad to give him that experience. Yeah, no, it's in good shape. Peter White, I think Greg was referring to the Dusty you found. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks guys for clearing that up for me. Thanks, Peter. Jerry. Yeah, it was a wonderful ball. Glad you enjoyed it, buddy. Glad you enjoyed it. Um, yeah, gotta spread the love, guys. Gotta spread the love. Greg, I'm certain you're just as generous with your drams with people who are visiting Paris. All right, guys, we should move on. We should consider the last 3 drams that are in this shootout here. That would be blue, red, and gold. What order should I'll keep the order the same. I might swap red and blue back a couple times here. Let's see. This is so good, guys. Oh man. Again, I talked about this in my 10 cast favorites review. There's this balancing act between the ex bourbon and the sherry casks, uh, Pedro Menace casks, and then the ex bourbon and quarter casks, and just the way they're interacting, the way they're working. That's top notch stuff. I can continue going over tasting notes, but I'm fairly solidly in the camp that I think this is the cast favorites 10-year-old. It's rich, it's dessert, it's earthy, it's everything you want from Laphroaig. Um, and again, fruits and dessert tones coming from both cast types that I detailed earlier. Man, oh man, that nose too. I could smell this for a long time, a long time. It's not like it's only got half the coin, where like it's really engaging on the nose and the palate's just okay. No, it delivers. It delivers fully. I gave I was a little conflicted giving the Laphroaig Cartridge a 90 out of 100 because it feels like a lot of people have lowered their scores, like Ralphie, Rob, Jeremy from Whiskey and Sips, Six and Sipper Social Club. But yeah, I feel like it's worth it. I feel like it's full value for it. This Laphroaig Cartridge 10-year-old, like it's a killer whiskey. Guys, I love that we're talking about the most recent purchase release and how much I'm loving it, because it's the most likely one that might be available near you. I mean, I know just a couple weeks ago it came out in Ontario. This is stonking stuff. I like their minimalist tasting notes here. Tastes like fruit, ginger, and peat. And that's something I forgot to mention here. In my review, I mentioned ginger candies. I'm gonna check this blue glass for ginger candies. They're in there. Absolutely, they're in there. Ooh, that finish. Get a bottle. It's near you and you enjoy Laphroaig. Get a bottle. I don't often do like straight up buy this whiskey sort of things. I don't like to do that because everyone has their tastes, and you're that's someone else's wallet. That's someone else's money. And I'd feel bad if you hated a whiskey that I recommended. It's a danger at all times if you're doing whiskey tube. But if you enjoy Laphroaig, I think that's an absolute buy. Let's see here. Thanks, Ty. Appreciate it, buddy. I know you're big on Ardbeg, Ty. Like you're huge on Ardbeg. You just did that Ardbeg core range rundown on your page. I have to watch it. I saw that it was there. I was like, I'm gonna absolutely watch that video. I know you're a big Ardbeg guy. How do you feel about Laphroaig, man? Are you cult of Ardbeg and not so much Church of Laphroaig? Let me know in the comments here if you're still on. Smeargel. I can't find Gordon MacPhail Highland Park 27-year-old. I can do Gordon MacPhail Highland Park 17-year-old and Gordon MacPhail Legic 22-year-old. Well, I love Legic. I love the dirtiness, the farmy, funky peat you get from that. I love Tobermory as well, the distillery and the place. Beautiful place to visit. Highly recommend visiting the Isle of Mull. If you only had to do one of those, which one should you pick? I'd be tempted to go with the Legic 22-year-old over the Highland Park 17. But if you don't have to choose, why choose? I fully have confidence in Gordon MacPhail's delivery on those Highland Park 17s and Gordon MacPhail Legics. I'm going to say the Connoisseur's Choice range, which is what I think you're talking about here, Smeargel. There was a fantastic article. I think it might have been Brody Balfour that wrote it on Dramface, detailing how Gordon MacPhail actually like assesses their whiskeys and where they actually like release them. If it's distillers labels, if it's like I think it was their Discovery series, or if it's Connoisseur's Choice or one of their private labels. Above that, I think the Connoisseur's Choice range, they either had to be like a 7 or an 8 in order to be bottled. But check Dramface. I do recall an article where it went over how they internally score these whiskeys and decide how they get released. But full confidence in the Connoisseur's Choice range. Yeah, so much good to say about Gordon MacPhail. Peter White, take your time, Matt. I'm watching while I go out to shovel snow again. Phase 2. Oh man, sounds like you've been buried. Yeah, quite a snowstorm back east. Yeah, I mean, we got a little bit of snow here. We've had some like -13 temperatures, which is cold for the south coast of BC, but I know that is nothing compared to the rest of North America. Yeah, sorry for the snowstorm, but I'm glad I can provide some entertainment while you're at it. That's how I listen to most of my whiskey tube too. I don't actually typically watch, more listening podcast style because, well, I mean, life's busy. I want to keep up with what all the creators like Just Whiskey, like Seaway Whiskey Wire, like Greg, everybody. I usually do it on hikes. I go for hikes and I listen, or I go for walks and I listen, or I'm working around the house and I listen. So I appreciate that you're doing this the same way, Peter. That's exactly how I take in my whiskey content as well. Brent Stewart agreed. I'm 24 first, and 22, 23 out of the 3 I'm sipping on. Palate will be screaming for a Guinness the rest of the for a rest from the whiskey. Hopefully recalibrate for the big game. Yeah, let's go big game tonight, buddy. Oh man, dying to try it. You're not making it easy for me to hold off any longer. The FOMO is setting in. It's going to get harder and harder to get these Laphroaig Cartridge bottlings, buddy. Not like overall, but the cast favorites. I think Ontario is one of the last places where it's easier to get. Alberta, they pop up every once in a while. Sorry for the FOMO, man. I apologize to your wallet, your bank account, and maybe your wife. I don't know. Jason Sensibility. What the heck, man? Again. Great Laphroaig blind. Keep going. Do more lives. 3,000 US pennies for your celebration. They won't be around for long. Did you just do it again? Oh man. That's crazy. That is crazy. Thank you so much. Taste and sensibility. I think this is the cast favorites. I think it might be my favorite. To you, buddy. Slunge. That is so incredibly generous. My word. My word. Man. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Peter White, shout out to Seaway. LCBO down to 90 bottles left. You may be in for a bit of a drive. Yeah, it's going to be getting more scarce, more scarce. The old Gordon MacPhail maroon tube cast strength bottlings were great and reasonably priced. I know you have, at least I think you have a bit of an arsenal of those left, Peter. But yeah, a bit before my time. I have had a few drams from people who've been generous to pour those for me. Great stuff. Taste sensibility. Thinking about attending Victoria Whiskey Festival sometime soon. Approaching retirement years. So why resist? Highly recommend. I've been the last 2 years. It is an absolute highlight for myself. It's a highlight for Kyla, and she doesn't even go to the whiskey festival portion. Um, I think it might be the best whiskey festival in North America. I don't think there's a better one in Canada that comes even like close to it. Victoria Whiskey Festival, the what the Strath does, what the Hotel Grand Pacific, what the organizers of that festival do, fantastic. And the after parties are crazy. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. I got to get to the Glasgow Whiskey Festival, maybe the Fife Whiskey Festival one day. But for me, that's tippy top. Whiskey Live Paris. I'm sure Greg has some good things to say about Whiskey Live Paris as well. Greg, understood, Matt. But don't you regret not watching the bottles look and also our faces when a bottle is to our liking? Though you might miss something. Absolutely agree. I do, and oftentimes I'll pull it out of my pocket, and if there's like a bottle, or if there seems to be like a moment where there seems to be something revelatory, I'll oftentimes pull it up. When you pull up like your photos or like your boxes, when you have your mock-ups, I usually check, I like pull it out and do it there. Sometimes hiking, not as much because I'm going hard, but if I'm walking, I'll pull it out and I'll check it casually. Um, but the problem for me is if I don't do it podcast style while driving, listening through Bluetooth, or when walking or hiking, or doing chores around the house, I won't have time. I won't have time to keep up with all the people I want to keep up with. And so I've kind of taken the approach of I'll take in as much as I can from the portion I am able to enjoy, as opposed to just missing out on it completely. It's the kind of the math I'm doing there, Greg. But yeah, no, 100%. Like there's something missed when it comes to like reactions when someone's drinking a whiskey, or seeing the bottles. If I know the bottle, sometimes I won't check. But if I've never heard of the bottle or seen the bottle, I'll pull it out and take a look. And when you were covering your French whiskeys with your Whiskey Live Paris and your year end reviews, I mean, yeah, I had to pull out the phone and be like, what is that? Tim, cast favorites won my blind flight against Leg, Corey Cravey, Argubeg Udall, and Kubokin 15. Ooh, Kubokin 15. I snagged a backup Laphroaig bottle after that result. Much love for the cast favorites. Yeah, it's a popular one. It's a very popular one. Don't worry, Matt from Smeargel. I usually listen your reviews and other whiskey tubers while doing housework, cycling, walking in nature as well. Last summer, I was sawing firewood for sauna and listen. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we're on the same wavelength there, Smeargel. That's exactly how I do it as well. Um, if it can add to our day-to-day lives, that's a big thing. I don't take that for granted, and it helps keep me like motivated to do housework or other things. So, yeah. Tyler, with respect to Ardbeg, I had a channel goal to obtain and review the core range. Ooh, okay. This is a journey. As I continued my journey, I did become very fond of Kilhoman and Laphroaig. The cast favorite, it just sounds too good to pass up. Yeah, and shout out to Kilhoman. Great whiskey being made there. With respect to the Ardbeg cult, love the core range and some of the special releases, but always looking for other distilleries to try. Peathead. Yeah, I think that summarizes a lot of people that might be checking in on this live stream there, Ty. I don't think you're alone in that camp. Greg, yeah, it's in the range. I have a great 15-year-old Kleinleash bottle at 54%. General, don't resist. Go about the Victoria Whiskey Festival. I'm guessing, yeah, it's a wild time. Jerry, you know all about those after parties now, buddy. Peter White, no, not in the weather. Feel your pain. Snow just started here in the Seaway Valley. Yeah, snowy time. We're starting to thaw out here on the west coast after about 2.5 weeks of colder temperatures. All right, almost caught up on the comments. I'm going to leave that there. Turn my attention to red. After the cast favorites, what I'm assuming the cast favorites is. Let's see how this does. I mean, it's a very similar nose, which makes sense because triple wood is one of the inspirations of the cast favorites. There is the possibility that this is the PX as opposed to the cast favorites or triple wood. Um, Very good, very good, very rich. If this is the triple wood, it might have a bit of old bottle effect. I know this bottle was opened this year from the sample it was poured off. If that's the case, it might have just kind of become more cohesive over that time. This is good. This is really good. It's gonna be very hard to determine between the red and blue which one I prefer. Let's check out the gold here. Oh man, I feel like this is the PX. Just going back to that nose, Peter White. I have one left, a 2009 Buna cast strength. I'm guessing of those old cast strength Gordon MacPhails. It's only 8 years, but great. Recently finished a Ball Blair 1993 and several others. Jerry Miller, Whiskey on the West Coast. After parties, seems someone was there at 4:50 a.m. Yeah, yeah, we went all night. I can't say you're lying, Jerry. That was a fantastic night. Yeah, guilty as charged. I went to bed very late. Good company, good whiskey. What can I say? See you at Whiskey Wonderland next week in Ottawa. Shout it out, Matt. Great festival put on by Mike. Yeah, Mike Breezeball, Whiskey Explorer. That one and the New Brunswick Whiskey Festival as well, I hear are fantastic. So yeah, no, shout out to those as well. Mike doing great stuff. If you don't follow him on Instagram, Mike Breezeball, the Whiskey Explorer, used to be a sales rep for Distill, so like Bunnahabhain and Deanston, Tobermory Ledgig. Yeah, great guy, doing a great whiskey festival there. Greg, thanks, Matt. Yeah, I know my videos are too long for 90. Yeah, it's not even about the length. It's like even the like 13-minute videos. Like I listened to John Whiskey Neighbors videos, and it's just yeah, I got to I gotta to listen to them while driving or doing other things. Where do you find those coasters, by the way? They are what brand are these? They're Graf Lance is the brand. GRAFLANTZ. Felt coasters. I found them at a local shop here, so I'm not really sure where else you'd find them. Hmm. Yeah, syrupy, delicious, goodness, dark chocolate, coffee. Guessing that is the PX here, guys. Guessing that's the PX. I'm gonna have to do something here I've never done on the live stream before. We've gone longer than this before, but I think I've had too much water. I need to pause, and I'll be back here, guys. One moment. I apologize, but as you can see, I also destroyed the set while doing that. That is the first. I'm gonna need a like technical difficulties sign. I've seen Roy put up a sign and Kilco whiskey as well do that. Um very smooth, very smooth. That was that was a bit embarrassing. Man, I didn't want to rush and end here, but I was like, man, you know, the phrase "hold your water" didn't apply, did not apply. All right, let's see. Yeah, Brent. Yeah, cheers. Enjoying the listen with AirPods in, chiming in when you can. Yeah, on a close screen, slaunch all. We'll catch up with the rest later. Taste and sensibility. So for festivals, I prioritize sleep, but in special circumstances, I might be flexible. Man, those after parties. Yeah, I mean, they make you challenge any conceptions about sleep. Tyler, smooth, Matt. Lights falling. Yeah, absolutely. Kyla's checking in. She might be putting the lights back up. We'll see. We're having some fun with this. You have nice collector's coasters, Greg, but a bit afraid with because of their degradation when in cardboard and water. Too much spilled on them, so I got to get me some plastic ones. Yeah, these felt ones, like they're actually pretty nice. Now I need an under construction slide here. um, oh, you tried to send the link for the coasters? Oh, okay. But yeah, these coasters, they're great. Graphlands, love them. Use them in almost all the videos. Jerry Miller, Jeopardy music playing in the background. All the channels do it when necessary. Thank you, Taste and Sensibility. Greg, I gotta get me some. I got me some Springbank solid ones too. But I'm a fetishist. I'm fetishist. I don't know what's going on with that word. To use them, lol. I know I'm wrong. Everybody, give a round of applause for Kyla for getting those lights back up. Yeah, that's looking great, babe. Oh man, where would I be without Kyla on this channel? Let me ask that question. How's the palette holding up? You know, remarkably well. I don't think I'd get the subtleties and nuances off the Highland Park anymore. It doesn't feel blown out though. I mean, I've I've done full like 8 to 10 whiskey tastings with Octomore before, and that has challenged it because they are a cast strength and they're usually like in the 60s. Um, that one I distinctly remember my palate blowing out completely, but it feels like I'm doing okay here. Roy refers to it as a comfort break. Understandable. Yeah, I was getting a little squirmy here. Comfort break like that. Nice mic, nice chair, nice blinds, and all the rest. Ah, man, you're too kind. You're too kind. Yeah, you know, when we moved recently, I had to uproot the studio. We used to have the obviously the whiskey cabinets behind it. That wasn't going to work in this room because behind it is actually the full wall is mirrors. This was a gym space in the space that we moved into, and this was our kind of our fix for kind of making the space usable for the channel. If I do branded stuff someday, I might choose that plastic equivalent sustainable solution Greg is saying here. And Justin one, yeah, that's the road trip plan there, eh? Just have a water bottle on hand. When you got to make time, I have been in vehicles where that has been the only option for my passengers. Rob Fletcher? Oh no, he's not watching, but sorry, I'm back now, says Cliff. Awesome stream. Thank you very much. Loving the wild turkey rare breed. Very tobacco forward. Got to be careful. So yeah, no, that stuff will sneak up on you right there. Peter White, I have a Trinity and Sea coaster. Oh, Trinity and Sea. I ran into Trinity and Sea at the Victoria Whiskey Festival. That's another thing. If you go to Victoria Whiskey Festival, you'll run into people you see on Instagram. You'll run into people you see on YouTube and all over the place. And a lot of the reps too, brand reps like Connell McKenzie or Carl Crafts or I believe it's Emma at Cologne, like lots of people come out. Peter from Isla Harris was out. So yeah, everyone's saying hi to Kyla. Fixed. Hooray, Kyla. Cheers. Kyla getting some love in the chat. Okay. Well, Smirchel, I've never seen this much Canada merch in my life before. Yeah, you might have missed it as you joined late, but there's a reason for that. With it being Flag Day, there's a Canada men's hockey game against the United States today, and there's some other stuff going on that I'm just gonna leave for now. Touched on earlier. If you catch the first half on the replay, you'll find out. Hey, why not? Why not embrace the Maple Leaf right now? A lot going on. Uh oh, some Canadian culture here. How are you liking Shoresy off season? Oh man, Shoresy. I watched all of Letterkenny. For those who don't know, TV show. Hockey players, small town Canada sort of vibes. Letterkenny and Shoresy's kind of the spin-off from it, very based on hockey. And I did watch the first season on my flight to Scotland last year. I haven't picked it up yet, just haven't had time, but I'm gonna watch it. Gonna watch it. Um, I can't say half the chirps on that show because none of them are PG. I can't say those here. I can say screw you, Shorzy, but no, that's not authentic. That's not authentic at all. Ben Demon Hunter. Howdy, Matt and everyone. Welcome here, buddy. Welcome to the show. Catch you up here. Laphroaig Karch's 2023 Whiteport Madeira. Blind came last place. Warehouse 1 came fourth. And we're determining the last three. I'm guessing right now blue is going to be the cast favorites 2024. Red is Triplewood 2019. And gold is the 2021 Pedro Jimenez. That said, don't know those ones for sure yet. Haven't revealed them. And I haven't put them in a final order. All right. Yeah, Tim. Epic coffee mug, by the way. I just picked that up at the Victoria when we went to the Victoria Whiskey Fest. We got a curling mug too, curling rock. Yeah, that's something. I'm gonna put something good in it for tonight's hockey game. But that's a bit of fun. All right, okay. I'm gonna do this reverse order now. I just did blue, red, gold. I'll do gold, red, blue, and we'll see if we can get to a final. So, final kind of assessment on these. Yep. Sweet, syrupy, PX nose. It's coffee, dark chocolate notes, all that Band-Aid medicinal peat smoke that we know and love from Laphroaig. More of the same on the palate with that like savory barbecue element as well. I think the finish on this isn't quite as long as the other two. Maybe it has something to do with actually, I don't know what would cause that in this case, because this is I might be wrong then. The PX Karch's release, this guy, this to my knowledge, I think is the only one that's actually at cask strength. The Triplewood might be as well. I don't have that bottle at hand, but this is 58.9% ABV. I'd be a little surprised if that one profiled with the thinnest palate, while still actually being the highest in ABV. Sometimes that happens. Now I'm starting to doubt myself. More like chili pepper, more like pepper on the finish on that one than the other two, I believe. Keep my word. I'll move on to the red glass. I mean, red could be the PX, I suppose. The palate seems more full. Seems richer. Even the impact of the peat smoke, actually, it feels like there's more phenolics there. It's smokier. It's never a bad day to be drinking a flight of Laphroaig, guys. This is good stuff. Gonna take some water to cleanse my palate. Address that red once again. I took the gold glass, clean, fresh palette. I want to do the same with the red here as well. I feel like I'm slowly slipping in to a very comfy Laphroaig coma. Like that is rich and delicious. And yeah, Tyler, you were talking about my palate. Kind of how is it holding up? I think I'm sensing some degradation now. I think it's starting to go. Um, so five Carchus versus five Octomore. I wonder which one would hold up better. Okay. Cleanse my palate, address the blue glass. I'm gonna try and actually focus just on which is my favorite. And after I assign which are my favorites, I'll go ahead and take my guesses. Just such a great balance in blue. That the peat smoke, the richness. Feel like I'm hoping I'm right. Otherwise, it's gonna look kind of silly. There just seems to be a great communication going on between the ex bourbon and the sherry casks. The peat smoke, like the finish is finish actually goes in stages where it starts off with sort of like the sweet and rich like leather and sherry kind of elements, and moves into a bit of peppering, but it just goes to this almost explosive peat smoke at the end. Like it maybe starts here and it grows bigger towards the end of the finish. So I mean, I think that's what's really getting me is like the actual full picture of the experience of this whiskey in the blue glass is just like the nose is excellent and engaging. The palate carries that on, is delivering exactly what I wanted from that nose, and the finish actually expands on that. It doesn't just peter out, it doesn't kind of um go out with a bang. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. So some T.S. Eliot. I think I think this blue might be the most complete whiskey of the 3 remaining, actually, of the 5 total, I have to say. Let's see here. Kyla tried to send a link. Can't send a link, but the coasters are Graflance, Beautificial Felts coasters. I could have done better with my German pronunciation there. People saying hi, Ben Demon Hunter, the Scotties. Yes, the Scott. I have to stop forgetting about the Scotties. Tournament of Hearts is going on. Curling. Maybe I should have grabbed my curling mug instead of the Canada hockey glove. Jerry, no Shoresy stuff can be quoted here. No, none. We will get demonetized so fast. Well, if you want to hear some Canadiana, you could pick up on that. Oh man. Okie dokie, a cart just blind. Awesome. That's what I thought, man. That's what I thought. Greg, alas, some shaky and raw reports from a certain BC fellow will be missed about your Canadian Victoria Whiskey Festival. Will be missed for us US non-Canadians too. Yeah, Andy Foodquig. Um, lifting one up to Andy here. I I think I may have briefly met him at last year's, but I never actually had much contact with him, and so I understand everyone has a very special place in their heart on Whiskey 2 for Andy, and one of the OGs who kinda, like, did his thing and was highly respected for it, and his tasting notes are fantastic. I just didn't have a personal relationship with him, so I've kind of I haven't addressed it in a video, but very sad to hear about Andy passing. Um, didn't know the guy, myself, but by all reports, fantastic, fantastic guy. Very generous with his time and with his whiskey. I know he sent you some samples there, Greg, and yeah, and he's already missed and will be continued to be missed. So lift one up to Foodquig. It's a hard transition to go from something so somber, but we'll keep rocking here. We'll be rocking the old school Team Canada jersey shortly. CUA Whiskey Wire Tyler says 87 on the back too, but with an A on the front. Go Canada, go. So I'm guessing that might be 2010, 2010 when he rocked the A, and Scott Niedermayer, I think, was captain of Canada. Awesome. Love it, buddy. I got a 2010 jersey myself, if that's the same one. I can go buy those coasters online for a 6-pack for 31 bucks, $42 shipping plus import tax. Wow, that is steep. Yeah, we paid nothing like that for them. Wow, that's expensive. They're nice. I don't know if they're that nice. Taste and sensibility. In my recent trip to Brooklyn, I noticed these special muffs around every e-bike handlebars. That's all I can think of. Henry Elliott, congrats on reaching 3K. Greetings from New Zealand. Henry, thank you so much for joining here. Raise this mystery purchase up to you. Thanks, bud. Thank you, Tim. 2019 Cartridge is listed at 59.5% ABV. So I'm guessing that it's cask strength. That's a guess, but judging by the 58.9 cask strength on the PX, yeah, that's a good guess. Thank you for the assist there, Tim. Appreciate it. That's actually really there's not a big drop off on the palate for whichever one here is the cast favorites 10-year-old. You'd imagine it might be more noticeable because it is actually 52.4% as opposed to these other ones that are 6 or 7% higher. Hmm. They have a palate. It just seems more full on the blue glass. Red feels a bit hotter. Just trying to do some analysis. A lot more pepper. Okay. I think I have my order, and I think I have my guesses as well. So we'll finish catching up on the comments, and we'll do a reveal. Greg lost connection again, so now I'm on my iPhone, but can't type fast. All good, Greg. I'm glad to know you're still on board. Sorry about the connection issues, buddy. Okay, so I didn't know Foodquig, but Trinity and C can fill you in some on them. Yeah, yeah. I did see that they did a bit of a tribute there. Yeah, and Trini and C, they're great guys. Real fun to hang out with at the whiskey festival. Based on what Matt says is the best purchase, I may or may not get that one. All right, Matt. I just hope I'm not steering you the wrong direction with that. I think any of these top three are fantastic. I even think the fourth place one, the warehouse one ex bourbon, I think that's fantastic too. It has its time and place. The White Port Madeira just wasn't the one for me, I think. As much as I want to love it because that's the one that came out while I was at Laphroaig. I'm almost tempted to get out the Laphroaig cask samples. When you do the warehouse one tasting, you do get to pick one of the 3 casks that you get to bring home a small 200 ml bottle of Laphroaig with you. And I have both those. I haven't actually opened them since we went to Laphroaig in 2023. If you guys really want more, I might open those up here. One was, I believe, a red wine cask, and another one was a sherry cask. But no, actually, it was a ex-virgin oak cask. But we might save those for another day when we're talking about warehouse tastings on Isla. Maybe we make that a live stream. Again, let me know your guys' ideas for live streams, and we'll see what we can put up here. Hmm. Sea wise. Spoiler alert, it's the cast favorite. I feel like it is. I feel like it is. I feel like you've got the script, buddy. You're reading from the script and you know what's about to come. Okay. I'm going to say blind. Third place is going to be gold. It's very, very close. It's extremely close, like minute detail differences. Red glass is number 2. So your silver medal on the podium. And the gold medal, first place, blue glass. My guess, gold is the Cairdeas 2021 PX. Red is the Cairdeas 2019 Triple Wood. Blue is the Cairdeas 2024 Cast Favorites 10-year-old. Only one that has a age statement. All right, nerves are set in. Let's see how I did with my guesses. I feel like there's a little more in this because I made the statement that I thought that the Cast Favorites was the best of the most recent release, basically the last 4 or 5. This would cover 5 of the last 6 releases. All right, let's reveal. Gold. Gold is letter D. And D is the PX. It's the Pedro Jimenez Cask Favorites 2021. Did very well for itself. Did a fantastic job. And I'm going to show the bottle here one more time. Cask Favorites 2021. Really great whiskey, 58.9%. That ABV comes through. Yeah, really great. I think it just loses it on the finish. And perhaps on the complexity. I just found more complexity in the other two, which I'm very happy means that the final 2 are the triple wood and the Cast Favorites, which makes sense because they're very similar. Okay. All right. Red. Red is B, while blue is E. B B is the so red B is the 10-year-old cask favorites, while the red glass, oh not red glass, blue glass is E. The triple wood. Triple wood wins. Cairdeas 2019 triple wood is the winner. No wonder it was so bloody hard to pick those two apart. So cask favorites 10-year-old, second place, very close, but the winner is the triple wood. Wow, shocker. Tyler, you did not have the script. You did not know who was gonna win. But neither did I. Neither did I. Wow, this. Well, now I'm hunting down a bottle of the triple wood 2019. That's gonna be hard to find. Thank you again to Michael Pang, Drammers United, for the sample. How am I going to get a bottle of this? It's fuller on the palate. It's more complete as a whiskey compared to the red. It just has that full progression. And when you get to the finish, it doesn't peter out. It actually amps it up a bit more. That triple wood is stonking good. It is worth noting how close the red is to the blue. So the cast favorites came extremely close to the triple wood. With how much easier it would be to get right now for the cast favorites versus the triple wood, I think that's telling. I think that means that you should absolutely, if you're a fan of Laphroaig, consider picking up a bottle. What it might be right now actually is that lower proof percentage. It's lower in proof. Doesn't have the same amount of body. Doesn't have the finish. Just it's good. It lingers. It's full, but it doesn't do this magic trick where it actually just like takes everything and amps up on it, like the triple wood does. That's a hell of a Laphroaig. I can't even show you the bottle because I don't have one. Second place was the cast favorite, which I keep showing to you guys. Sorry for the noise there, guys. The cast favorites right here. Too many bottles, too much clutter. That one right there. It's fantastic. I highly recommend. Check out the review. It's really freaking good. Well, if anyone has a line on a bottle of cast favorites, you know who to call. Let know. I will take one. Let's see here. Smeargel, more live streams. They're always a highlight of the month. I appreciate that, Smeargel. Thank you so much for the support on Patreon, as well as just in the chat and picking up on the live streams. I really appreciate it. Yeah, honestly, and that goes for everyone who's here. I wouldn't do the live streams if you guys didn't join on with me. So yeah, you are the reason why I pop on here and just talk whiskey for apparently hours on end, and do these blind comparisons, blind tastings. So love it, guys. Thank you so much for the support. If you guys have any more experiences with Laphroaig, let me know in the comments. But we're gonna start wrapping up the live stream here. Ben, Demon Hunter, gotta go driving. Cheers, everyone. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I do the same thing, buddy. Appreciate you jumping on for it here, buddy. Seaway Whiskey Wire. Cheers, all. Going out the blow snow out of the driveway. Matt, great job. Kyla, good luck with the lights. Enjoy the game tonight, guys. Cheers, all the best. Go Canada, go, buddy. Go Canada, go. Let's go. Let's have a good result tonight. Peter White, Whiskey Base has the cast favorites at full point higher than the triple wood. 500 plus votes for what it's worth. Yeah, I might be in the minority on that one. Interesting that you mentioned that. I wonder if there's a certain amount of like recency bias with it too. With the new new purchase. I don't know. Whiskey base is an interesting thing. I mean, it probably is the closest we can get to an actual proper crowdsourced whiskey score. I mean, that's why I use whiskey base. Interesting, interesting. Hmm. I do wonder too how many of those people have actually done side by side the say like the triple wood versus the Corchus. But man, yeah, I love that cast favorites. I'm glad to hear it's getting good reviews on Whiskey Base. Jerry Miller, thanks, Matt. Enjoyable afternoon. Yeah, looking forward to the afternoon. Kirby Calgary, hey, Matt, was just out shopping, got a phone call from a wine store that I've given my number to. I showed up, got Springbank 12 and the 10 Amontillado. What? Oh, man. This has been a good day for you, Kirby. That's incredible. I have not been able to get my hands on any of those Springbank sherry cask releases. The Palo Cortado, the PX. I put my name in for the ballots on the Amontillado to get a Springbank 12 cask strength and the 10 Amontillado. It's a good day for you, man. Well done. Congratulations on that. That's incredible. Well, guys, it's going to be a great day. Thank you for joining me here on Saturday. It is, oh gosh, it's early in the day here in BC, but if it's the night, if it's wee hours of Sunday morning now, I hope you guys had a great Saturday, great February 15th. Thank you for joining me on the live stream. I'm going to enjoy the hockey game tonight. Go Canada, go. Always a good time when we have a high level hockey game to enjoy. Thank you, as always, for all your support. Thank you to the Patreons. I'm going to lift up this glass of Laphroaig Carchus Triple Wood, which won this blind showdown. And I hope to see you guys all again sooner rather than later on another Whiskey on the West Coast live stream. Until next time, guys, thank you for all the support. Thank you for the 3K subscribers. And to you, Slunge. So good.